Many thanks, Macca. Thrilling stuff from the rugby, but now it's back to the football. Here on Talksport 2, we come to you live from a cold and misty Ellen Road, where the teams are entering the field in a white-hot atmosphere. It's Leeds United against Crystal Palace. All of the action coming up here on Talksport 2. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Let's get into the teams who are introducing themselves to each other over the halfway line for Leeds. It's just the one change from the 1-1 draw at Brentford last Saturday. Brendan Aronson comes in. He replaces Al Tanaka, who moves to the bench. It's 3 Premier League games unbeaten for Leeds. They're 3 points above the relegation zone. It's Perry in goal, back 3 Struijk, Biel and Rodon. Bogle and Gudmundsson are the wing-backs, with Stack and Ampadu alongside Aronson in midfield, Okafor and the in-form Calvert-Lewin up front. For the visitors, Crystal Palace, 3 successive Premier League games away from home, winning all 3. And after 11 changes in the midweek European Conference game against Kupion Palacera, it's easier to tell you there are 2 alterations from last weekend's home defeat. 3 goals to nil against Manchester City. Both of them are enforced. Ismail Assar has headed off to the African nations with his country, Senegal. Diakate Kamada is injured. That means Will Hughes and Eddie Nketiah start tonight. So for Palace, it's Henderson in goal. Gay, Richards and Lacroix is the 3 defenders. Klein, Wharton, Hughes and Mitchell across midfield, with Mateta leading the line, supported by Pino and Nketiah. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget, now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Leeds versus Crystal Palace, which is live right now. Just search Now Sports. We're moments away from kick-off. Alongside me, John Dunn, is the former Leeds United manager Simon Grayson. Well, the noise is certainly evident in Ellen Road. Let's hope the game matches up to the noise and the atmosphere that's been built pre-match.
Yeah, it certainly is. Ellen Road's a special place to play for this team in the Premier League. Strange kick-off, 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. There's not too many fixtures that have happened over the years at this time, but big game for both teams. Palace win today, can go above Sunderland. Leeds can win and get 3 points. That can take them above Nottingham Forest and close the gap on Fulham. So big game. Vital that Leeds try and start the game, because over the last few weeks, when they've had really good performances against Chelsea and Liverpool, they've started on the front foot and got good performances and a good points tally.
Right now, over on Talksport, if that is your choice, you can listen to Everton against Arsenal here on Talksport 2. We are seconds away from kick-off. Leeds United versus Crystal Palace. Earlier today, we brought you the live commentary of the thrilling game at St James's Park. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2. Let's hope the action and the drama continues late into the evening here in West Yorkshire. Leeds United all white, with Crystal Palace in their traditional colours of red and blue stripes, blue shorts, blue socks. Leeds will defend the Kop end to our left in this first half. It is cold, it is misty, it's a real December evening, but the noise is certainly ringing around Ellen Road. For Crystal Palace, their 28th game of what has already been an epic season. Those 2 changes with Will Hughes coming in, a rare start for him. Likewise, Eddie Nketiah, only his 3rd Premier League start of the season. Brendan Aronson back in for Leeds. He started the season in the first 11, but he's been a substitute in the last 4 Premier League games for Leeds. The much maligned Brendan Aronson, Simon. Yeah, look, he's had a lot of criticism. I think that stemmed back to his first year here when the club got relegated. He went off on loan and has been seen as a bit of a player that hasn't sort of been able to grasp a regular place, but Daniel Farke likes him because of the energy, and he does bring certain qualities to the team. Rodon 2, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right edge of the area, slips the ball towards Aronson. He's managed to almost keep the ball in play as it got to the byline, but he couldn't quite angle it into the box. It's gone into the side netting of Dean Henderson's goal. Henderson, former Manchester United goalkeeper, all in green. Away to our right-hand side, the 2 managers in front of us. Daniel Farke to the right of the 4th official, all in black as he watches on his team, arms folded. And after 4 successive defeats in November, it's now 3 games unbeaten, a run that has seen them climb above the relegation places, 3 points away from those danger spots. What a win could do tonight to extend that gap even further. Crystal Palace know if they can continue their run away from home, they've won the last 3 away from home in the Premier League, it would see them join Chelsea in terms of their points tally, and they would be joint 4th, which has been an incredible start to the season for Crystal Palace, Sam.
Yeah, I think when you look at this game tonight as well, the systems looks like both teams are more or less matching each other up in terms of the high press. Leeds are pushing on against Palace's back 3, and it's a man for man all up, and the pitch looks very open. You've got Rodon in front of us, he's looking to go in on Pino and stopping sort of the short passes, and then there's a press behind it. So I think there's going to be lots of gaps to be able to get the foot, get combination play and get through the lines.
Ball played up to Jean-Philippe Mateta, who felt he was pushed on the halfway line by Rodon, but Leeds can come forward over on that left-hand side, and it's a ball that's sent in low. It was Mark Gay with an important header just in front of his goalkeeper at that near post, and again the noise levels right inside Ellen Road. As I glance around in an all-seater stadium, I don't think anyone is sat down apart from in this main stand on the west side of the ground.
But it's a cold night. I think everybody wants to keep warm, to be fair.
Ethan Ampadu has found a towel over on the far side. He's 18 yards from the Crystal Palace goal, far side in front of the Jack Charlton East stand. He will lean against the advertising hoardings and will look to launch that ball into the near post area. Pascal Struijk, who scored a goal against Crystal Palace the last time these two teams were in the Premier League, rising, but Richards able to clear. It's head tennis on the edge of the Crystal Palace penalty area before it breaks loose to Ampadu on the far side. The Leeds midfielder felt he kept the ball in play, but the referee's assistant felt that he took it out to play, and some of the fans over on that far side do eventually take their seats. We've had 3.5 minutes on Talksport 2. It's Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0.
I think one of the key areas you're going to look again tonight is Calvert-Lewin. How can he hold up the ball and allow Aronson and Okafor in to join him? You've got the luxury of having Ampadu, and Stack will probably want to play a little bit further forward than him. But Calvert-Lewin has been exceptional last few games. Obviously, I think it's 3 on the bounce that he scored the goals. And a key part of the game tonight.
Goals in back-to-back home games as well for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 5 for the season. His best ever goal-scoring campaign was with Everton back in 2021 when he scored 16 goals. Hasn't hit those kind of heights since. Injury ravaged throughout his career, but he's certainly so far found a home at Leeds that he's certainly enjoying. Leeds at the moment having to defend, and it's an awkward pass that Struijk couldn't deal with. It's Nketiah over on the far side. He's able to turn to face the penalty area before Goodmanson closes him down. He plays it up the far side touchline to Will Hughes, easily recognisable with that shock of blonde hair. Hughes still on that far touchline. It's a short ball infield to Wharton. Klein joining in as well on the right side in his second spell with Crystal Palace now. Nathaniel Klein, it's his 3rd Premier League start in a row, and hadn't started a game up until this recent run. Such has been the injuries that have ravaged this Crystal Palace side. He's got 16-year-old Joel Drakes-Thomas on the bench tonight. Oliver Glasner, who made his debut in the midweek draw in the Europa Conference League. Pino trying to stretch to play the ball over the halfway line as it was drilled into him from Mark Gay. Couldn't quite grasp it under control. Leeds have possession again. It's gone back to their goalkeeper Lucas Perry. It's 0-0, 5.5 minutes gone. I
think you look at Palace at just the last couple of minutes there, they're trying to take the sting out of the game and making sure that sort of Leeds don't get any impetus with the home supporters. Certainly back in this team after a couple of good results recently. Wharton and Hughes, they know the division really well. There's some really talented footballers that can handle the ball and make sure that they're making it very difficult for Leeds to try and get into that final third.
Rodon went direct on that occasion, but Jayden Bogle, formerly of Sheffield United, straying offside. Bogle on a yellow card tightrope if he's booked today. So too Ethan Ampadu for Leeds. They will miss the next Premier League game, which is on the 28th of December against Sunderland. From that offside division, Crystal Palace have a free kick on this near side touchline. Their left, Dean Henderson will come from his goal to take. Only 2 appearances against Leeds in his career, 1 for Manchester United, 1 here was for Sheffield United. 2 clean sheets on both occasions. Both games though ending 0-0. We don't want any of that nonsense today.
No, we're expecting goals, aren't we? We know that Palace have got a really good defensive record, and and Leeds have not kept a clean sheet since I think it was the end of August against Newcastle. So we're expecting goals. Let's hope that we don't put the mockers on it.
And in terms of Leeds, they've scored 3 goals in back-to-back home games against Liverpool and against Chelsea as part of that 3-game unbeaten run. I think it's something like 16 games, as you say, Simon, since the last clean sheet. They've scored and conceded in each of their last 6 Premier League games. This cannot be 0-0. It simply can't. The stats are there. Here comes Leeds defender Boyle, who was closed down by Wharton, so he's gone back to Pascal Struijk. Struijk again, edge of his own penalty area, will stroke the pass across to this near side, to the right side of the D, where Biol, who joined in the summer from Udinese, has the ball. He goes direct, looking for Calvert-Lewin. It's dealt with by Lacroix, the Crystal Palace centre-half, just inside the penalty area, flicks the ball away. Leeds throw is taken quickly by Joe Rodon, the Welsh international, over 50 caps. He'll be looking forward to a potential World Cup place if Wales can take that next step in March. Here's Biol again, Slovenian born, scored in the 3-1 home win against Chelsea. That was Leeds' last win. Ball on to the halfway line, right touchline, just in front of Daniel Farke was Jayden Bogle with a pass infield that was intercepted by Pino. It's a Leeds throw again. It's taken quickly. You can see both teams trying to keep a high tempo. There's a clash of heads here. Gay and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, totally accidental, but both have gone down. Gay looks slightly the better of the two, but he's on his knees at the moment, rubbing the back of his head. Calvert-Lewin, it was his forehead, went straight into the back of Gay. And it's Calvert-Lewin who at the moment is face down on the ground with the 2 medics either side of him to check his well-being. Leeds really don't want to lose him.
No, they certainly don't, because Nemecha's injured at this moment in time, who's the natural replacement as a number 9. But you saw Gay, he again makes the header and then just stumbles backwards and falls into Calvert-Lewin, and the back of Gay's head has caught Calvert-Lewin. So a bit worrying. I think, like you say, Gay, I think will be fine. Calvert-Lewin's a little bit more sprawled out on the turf, and he will be a massive miss, will Calvert-Lewin, not just because of the goals that he scored recently, but his hold-up plays, linking play. I think when the ball goes wide, the full-backs, wing-backs as they are now for Leeds, they know that if they put it in there, he's going to get on the end of it. You just saw last week against Brentford, he got on the end of, I think it was Jayden Bogle's cross, got in, no, Nonto's cross it was, to be fair, and there's nobody probably better in the Premier League, actually. Calvert-Lewin, once he's around that 18-yard box with his head.
9 minutes gone at Elland Road. You're listening to Talksport 2. It's Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0 in the Premier League over on Talksport right now. You can switch and listen to Everton versus Arsenal. Sam Matterface, your commentator, alongside Charlie Adam. Best place to listen, of course, is on the Talksport app, where you can keep switching between the 2 games. You can also get onto the app to check what's going on in the PDC World Darts tomorrow. We've got Game Day Live. Sam will be back in action to keep an eye on all of the football and sport that's taking place, including Aston Villa against Manchester United in the Premier League. We'll also have updates on the Scottish Premiership and the AFCON, which is getting underway. More Premier League commentary on Monday. It's Fulham versus Nottingham Forest at Craven Cottage. And then Crystal Palace are back in action on Tuesday. The games just keep coming for Oliver Glasner's team. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still down, by the way. Arsenal Crystal Palace, Carabao Cup quarter-final. Adrian Durham will be alongside Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto. Full commentary of that one. The winner will play Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. For Crystal Palace, Simon, and for Oliver Glasner, as I mentioned, 28 games already this season. He hasn't got the biggest of squad. They've made the fewest changes of any team in the Premier League. He's getting so much out of what it's quite a small squad. Yeah,
he certainly is, and I'm sure he'll be one of their managers when he'd be delighted to see that January window open. I'm pretty sure Crystal Palace will be going out and bringing a couple of players in, because they're in a really strong position both in the Premier League and the Europa Conference League, where they're in a good position, and he'll just want as many options available and try and keep players as fit as possible.
We are back underway with the uncontested drop ball. Both players, Gay and Calvert-Lewin, just stood on the touchline ready to get their call to resume. Calvert-Lewin just having the physio maybe apply treatment to his forehead once again. Both eager to get on the field as Mitchell comes down the left for Palace. It's a left-footed cross from the byline. It was a firm headed clearance by Biol, the Leeds centre-half. Aronson winning the ball back on the touchline in front of us, spinning away from the challenge of Mitchell. Had his ankles tapped. Aronson goes down, free kick to Leeds, 0-0 at Elland Road.
Well, we spoke about Aronson just before, about what he does and doesn't bring to the team. To be fair, on this particular occasion, he's got his energy and wriggled around and got Leeds that free kick that they needed just to take the sting out of the game and get Calvert-Lewin back on the pitch and back to 11 aside now.
Lovely touch by Adam Wharton, very highly rated player, played in the last couple of England games, hoping he'll be in the squad for the World Cups in the summer. Ampadu's pass was intercepted by Hughes, who can go down the right side. Jean-Philippe Mateta has pulled away. It's his cross on the right of the penalty area. Lucas Perry, the Brazilian goalkeeper, coming and claiming and just easing the Leeds nerves.
Well, it's pretty much end-to-end, isn't it? We do expect to see goals along at some point, but it's about teams pressing, it's man-for-man all over the pitch, and again, we've just seen Wharton here, he's going on Ampadu, and then all of a sudden wing-back to wing-back, centre-back against centre-forward. It's a fascinating tactical battle as well.
And applause from Daniel Farker, with Leeds trying to move down this right side. They've won a throw which Jayden Bogle will take. Bogle in his second season with Leeds after 4 years with Sheffield United. He's going to leave the throw for Joe Rodon. 15 yards inside the Palace half, right side, gets it back from Anton Stack, summer signing who has settled into life in the Premier League and with Leeds really well, but Crystal Palace winning the ball back. And Nketiah in the centre circle, strokes the ball out to the right side. Nathaniel Klein puts the brakes on, slows things down midway inside the Leeds half, goes back to the halfway line with Richards. It's a first time ball forward to Wharton, back in the centre of that Leeds half, and Palace moving it to this near side. Mitchell, Palace's left wing back, loves to bomb forward. He plays the ball back to Gay. All of the outfield players rather inside the half that Leeds are defending as Palace keep moving the ball from left to right. Now it's with Klein, the right wing back, who joined in October 2020 for his second spell with Palace after 7 years away with Southampton and then with Liverpool. That's a lovely turn by Yeremy Pino, coming down the centre of the field, ball towards Mateta, needed the interception from Biol. That was really important. You can see Pino and Wharton will be so key to what Crystal Palace do. 0-0.
Look, they've just had a spell there for about a minute or so where they just popped it around. Leeds couldn't get anywhere near them. All of a sudden Pino gets on the half turn, starts running at the Leeds back three and look for that final pass through. But look, fortunately from Leeds' perspective, Biol's in the way to break the play up. But Leeds have got to be careful that when they get possession of the ball back, they don't give it away too cheaply, because when you look at Palace, there's some players that can certainly handle the ball, enjoy handling the ball, and could be a massive threat, hence why they've done so well this season.
Crystal Palace in great form away from home in the Premier League, but when they have come into a Premier League game on the back of a European game, hasn't gone too well. They've only won one of the 7 Premier League games after a European game. That was in August when they beat Aston Villa 3-0. The 2 away games they've had after a European game, they have been beaten. It was a 2-2 draw against Kupion Palacera, the Finnish side, on Thursday night, and then straight back in action on Saturday evening. Ball will break here for Aronson for Leeds, but Will Hughes will step across and make an important interception. Ball up towards the halfway line. Jean-Philippe Mateta holds play up, lays it back to the edge of his own area where Mark Guéhi is waiting. The Palace captain wanted the ball back as he pulled away to the near side, but Dean Henderson playing it to the right. Klein plays the ball off Goodmunson. That will be a Crystal Palace throw. 15 gone. Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0.
Yeah, a lot of Leeds fans on the far side expecting it to be a Leeds throw-in. Klein gets the fortunate ricochet, but again, Palace, they get to little pockets and little areas where they play 1 touch, 2 touch, very comfortable on the ball. Wing-backs looking to push on up against Leeds' wing-back, which means that Leeds become a back 5, and yeah, it's been an entertaining game without the goalkeeper making too many, a save so far.
Over on Talksport right now, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Here on Talksport 2, 15 and a half minutes gone. Leeds 0, Palace 0. Oliver Glasner jumping up and down with Palace giving a throw away on that far side. He's ushering his team forward, but it's Leeds in possession on the left side touchline. They'll win another throw here. They haven't opted to use the long throw of Ampadu, despite winning a succession of throws in that area. But now Ampadu, the captain, the Welsh international, jogs across to pick the ball up. His dad Kwame has recently joined Celtic as assistant manager. Former player with Arsenal, West Brom, Plymouth. Was assistant to Thierry Henry at Monaco as well. But Ethan, son of, will line up this long throw over on the far side. He's a good 20 yards away from the Crystal Palace goal. Strike is at the near post. Biol is trying to make a move into that area as well. It was towards Biol. It was headed away by Jean-Philippe Mateta, still inside the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin with his back to goal. He's come through, and it was the shot that came in from Joe Rodon that took a deflection and just bobbled wide. Leeds loading the penalty area, and it nearly paid off. 0-0.
Look, when you've got somebody who's got a long throw, it's not always the first contact that you definitely have to get it. You've got to be alert for the second balls in around the 18-yard box. I think it's Goodmanson who got the next contact, dropped a Rodon shot, just deflected past the post, and Palace has to defend the corner. Anton
Stack with a floaty curled delivery, and Rodon again was rising, and a glancing header 6 yards out that falls wide. The centre half with two opportunities, and the first real opportunities of the game.
Yeah, great ball in from Stack, in swinging corner, and Rodon gets a little bit of a run on the Palace defenders, and probably should have done better. Should have maybe hit the target. I saw recently Bijol, he got a header from a Stack in swinging corner against, I think it was Liverpool. Got to be aware of the set pieces, Palace.
Rodon has 2 Premier League goals this season. Both came here. A 2-2 draw against Bournemouth and a 2-1 win against West Ham. Here is Nketiah coming through the centre of the field. Briefly got away from Strike, but then he has him to deal with again before playing it to the left to Mitchell. Pino shuffles across. He's got the space to deliver a right-footed ball in towards the penalty area. Once more, Lucas Perry, confident goalkeeping. 0-0.
Yeah, Leeds faithful there, wanting Perry just to release it a little bit quicker. I think they were looking for Okafor, looking to break very quickly. Decided to take the sting out of the game, but Palace have got into them areas, haven't they? The final third, and 2 or 3 times the crossing hasn't been quite level of quality that we expect from them.
Lucas Perry receiving the ball back from Biol. Perry joined in the summer from Lyon. Brazil born. Both of his clean sheets came in August. 0-0 here against Newcastle, 1-0 against Everton. None since. He did miss a handful of games with an arm injury. Caldalo, the deputy. Here's Pino, midway inside his own half. Lovely scale and a turn to feed the ball into Wharton, who will come over the halfway line, left of the centre circle. A back heel back to Pino. This is really nice. This is Mateta, edge of the area. Now it's Nketiah, and a shot to the save from Perry. It was right at him, but he had to react and get down swiftly to push the ball to safety. But the move before that, the link up between Wharton and Pino, superb.
Yeah, you look at them two, they really enjoy playing in the same team. They've got the movement. Wharton there, he carried the ball. Pino gets into little pockets, and all of a sudden on a half turn, and he gets it to Nketiah. And to be fair, he decided to centre forward. Wants to take on the shot. He had Klein on the outside of him, but Perry got down low and kept it out. But again, Palace look very dangerous when they're popping that ball around.
7 Premier League goals this season for Jean-Philippe Mateta. Here's Nketiah. He did have a loan spell with Leeds as Pino sends it across towards Mateta. Couldn't quite get the power on the header due to the company he had from Yaka Biol. It was a save by Perry. 0-0. Richards winning it back on the halfway line. It's frantic stuff, Simon. Great to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's been end-to-end, hasn't it? Palace have certainly shown their quality, as I keep mentioning there. Leeds really have got to try and take this the sting out of the game without going too gung-ho as well, because you've got to make sure that Palace, who are very quick on the counter-attack, they're very incisive with the passing ranges that they've got, but this Leeds faithful as well want them to get forward and get the ball into Okafor, who's just playing off Calvert-Lewin. But we haven't seen too much from the Leeds attacking aspect so far.
20 minutes gone at Ellen Road on Talksport 2, Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0. Mentioned Eddie Nketiah. It was the first half of the 2019-2020 season. He was on loan with Leeds, 19 appearances, 5 goals. He's also scored 3 goals in 3 appearances against Leeds when he's come up against them. All of those for Arsenal, all of them at Emirates Stadium. Here's Biol in the centre circle. Everything is in front of him as he strides into the Crystal Palace half. Floats a ball towards the far side of the penalty area. Headed clear by Richards. Nearly fell for Anson. Poor touch has given Crystal Palace possession as they move it up initially to Mateta. And then it's Pino. Again, he's got time and he can pick out the pass to Mitchell. He's looking up, but he hasn't really got options. And Nketiah is making his way into the box. And then the ball infield comes off referee Thomas Bramall, who will have to stop play. 0-0.
Yeah, you look at Mitchell there. He's just got in the left wing back area role. He's looking to put it into the box, and decided against it because you could only see Nketiah in there, who's waiting for Mateta to probably join in after he'd done the link-up play. But again, Palace are moving the ball quickly, getting into pockets and asking questions to Leeds. And so far, to be fair to Leeds, they defend it well enough, but they've certainly got to be on the toes and waiting for opportunity to take the game to Palace, because they've not really been up for too much going forward as well. Okafor's not really had influence on the game. Aronson in that number 10 role as well hasn't, but been intriguing the first 15 minutes or so.
Still 0-0 over on Talksport, Everton and Arsenal here at Ellen Road. 22 minutes gone, Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0. You're listening to this game, Leeds versus Crystal Palace, on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all Sky Sports action flexibly, like Leeds versus Crystal Palace, live right now. Just search Now Sports. Long throw down the far touchline, which is dealt with by Lacroix, the Crystal Palace defender, one of 5 Palace players in this starting 11 that have started every Premier League game so far this season. In fact, Lacroix has only missed 1 game in all competitions. That was on Thursday when he was an unused substitute. Oliver Glasner stating before that game on Thursday that no player will start both games. Some of his big hitters were involved as substitutes, as Mateta goes down, but no free kick on the halfway line. So Leeds have got possession again. Ethan Ampadu coming, claiming it from Joe Rodon. Ball into Stat, back out to Rodon on the halfway line, right side of the field. Closed down by Yeremy Pino, and it will go back to Lucas Perrick. So it comes forward again with Biot.
I think when you look at Leeds' system, Daniel Farke sort of stumbled across the system, changed from a 4-2-3-1, which he's played 95% of the time since he's arrived at Ellen Road. 2-0 down at Man City recently, then went to the back 3 and had Namacha and Calvert-Lewin, who dominated the second half then and stuck with it. The only difference is that Namacha's not been around the last 2 or 3 games, and Okafor's not really a centre forward, so he does get isolated a little bit, does Calvert-Lewin, and he needs a little bit more support in and around him.
Leeds have got themselves a free kick. Yeah, it was a back 4 for the opening 13 Premier League games, with that switch, unbeaten in 3. Is it always as simple as that, or surely it's the players that win and lose your games, but a change of system has clearly worked for them?
Yeah, it certainly has, and I've looked at this over the last few months or so, coming to Leeds games a lot, that look at Bogle and Goodmanson are really attacking fullbacks. They've got the 3 good centre-backs, left-footed, so they all slot in very comfortably, and still have the 3 in midfield, and I think it's been really good for Leeds.
Nice ball by Bogle. Rodon, the right centre half, with a cross from the right. That was a very important header by Nathaniel Clyde on the far side. Needed all of his frame and leap to flick that one away, with the player coming in behind him, which was Anton Stat. So it's flicked away. It will be a Leeds corner. 25 gone, Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0 on Talksport 2.
We were just talking about the system there, and your outside centre-backs are stepping in, and Rodon's the one who's crossing the ball. It was good defending, to be fair, for Palace, but another opportunity from a set-piece for Leeds. Anton
Stat will take the corner, left side of the field. Again, it swung in dangerously, and a header that was just wide from Pascal Strike. He rose so well at the near post, a header that's off target, but Leeds, certainly from set pieces, are causing problems.
Yeah, look, Stat's got great delivery in swinging, and got players that are looking to meet. This time it's Strike. Last time I think it was Rodon who got a free header. Leeds are got 3 big centre backs, and again, Palace have got to be aware that if they're giving away set pieces, that they've got to get tight to people, not allow free headers, because Leeds can be dangerous.
Strike, who's not scored since February, when he scored 2 here in a 2-1 win against Sunderland. One of them was very, very, very late. It's his 100th Premier League appearance today. The Dutch-born defender. Here is Mark Gay, England international. Ball sent forward over the halfway line, but gifted straight to Jayden Bogle. You're listening to Leeds versus Crystal Palace on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Over on Talksport right now. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Best place to listen to both of these games are on the Talksport app, where you can flick between the 2. No goals as of yet. It's been another exciting game, another exciting day on Talksport across all of the leagues. We've got a packed Boxing Day for you with the EFL with 4 Championship commentaries and then a Premier League commentary, 8 o'clock on Boxing Day night, Manchester United versus Newcastle. Before that, though, we've got live commentary, Birmingham versus Derby, Millwall versus Ipswich, Coventry versus Swansea, and Wrexham versus Sheffield United on Talksport and on Talksport 2.
Certainly plenty of football coming up this festive period, which is I think all the supporters love it, especially in the UK, England and Scotland. It's been great that you have that tradition, and lots of games for everybody to go and enjoy, hopefully.
Klein will come forward for Crystal Palace, the right wing back. A ball out to the far side to Eddie Nketiah, trying to spin away from Goodmunson, who does his defensive work really well, and now he'll try and join the attack as Leeds try and break with Okafor into the Palace half, and it's a ball forward towards Aronson, but there's too much on it, and Gay can get across and cover. He reads the game so well, gets it away for the throw, but you can hear by the noise Leeds sensing something happening. Yeah, that's what Okafor can do. He can pick it up and in tight areas. This time he flicked it over Richards, I think, and then got away from him, and he took it up the pitch 30-40 yards, and all of a sudden, just when you're wanting that lovely way to pass, he overhits it when he was looking for Aronson, and Gay, he came across, but good play from Okafor. Another chance for Ethan Ampadu to send in the long throw, 16 yards from the Crystal Palace goal. Oliver Glasner looking nervously on, clapping his hands, now folds his arms as the throw is launched to that near post area. That will be a corner, a clearing header from Richards, and the pressure remains. It's 0-0. Well, look, it's obviously been a hot topic over the last few weeks, hasn't it? People talking about the long throws, and obviously 20-30 years ago it was just the norm, wasn't it? But it's such a dangerous weapon that people can have, that first contact, second contact can lead to mayhem in around people's 18-yard boxes. Anton Stack to take this corner, right-footed again. It just hangs in the air and so close to the goal. It was missed by everybody, and out for a goal kick. Those corners are just so tempting. They float and they glide in, but with a bit of curl, just needs a touch. Well, he's got a lovely technique, and he just leaves it in that sort of middle of the goal, 6-yard box area, and it allows the 3 big centre backs to go and attack it, looking at sort of Calvert-Lewin in there as well, and sometimes you have a running jump. I think Palace do a bit of zone marking, which sometimes allows the opposition to get a run on them. Certainly a great opportunity for Leeds to try and capitalise on. I think that's 3 or 4 corners from that in-swing inside. I was conscious to say good things about Anton Stack, because his dad Matthias is a sports commentator back in Germany, more on the tennis side of things, but does get involved in football, so we need to constantly say good stuff. As Richards converts the ball back to goalkeeper Dean Henderson. Leeds fans were giving him some stick, taking his time over the goal kick. He launches it forward. Rodon gets there just before Yeremy Pino. Leeds have it on the edge of their own penalty area. A ripple of applause for what looks like a capacity crowd at Elland Road. Earlier this year, Leeds Council giving planning permission for a stadium extension, this near side and the west side, and the cot to our left to be refurbed and grown. There'll be another 20,000 seats in this stadium at some point, as Crystal Palace get themselves a free kick. Will Hughes fouled by Ethan Ampadu in the middle of the Leeds half of the field. Nearly half an hour gone. Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0 here on Talksport 2. Again, you see Will Hughes showing a different side to his game there. He's sort of been really good, influential on the ball, but this time he's picking up a second balls when it's gone up to Mateta, and wins himself a free kick. And Palace will send their 3 big centre backs up as well, and see if Leeds can defend this free kick, which will give Palace the opportunity to see what they're made of. Goal at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. A Victor Gyökeres penalty gives Arsenal the lead. That is live over on Talksport right now. Here on Talksport 2, Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0. Half an hour gone. A free kick from Yeremy Pino is delivered to this near side. Chris Richards with a header back into the danger area. Gay couldn't get there, dropped to the edge of the box. Wharton's touch wasn't the best, and Strike is able to whack the ball clear to the halfway line. Mitchell slipping as he hooks it back towards the Leeds half. Here's Pino. Again, he's been afforded room, and he can make full use of that space as he finds Lacroix on this left side, a centre half who's trying to deliver across. It was blocked and deflected away. And Leeds have it to the right of their own penalty area, with Aronson playing it off Mitchell, and a Leeds throw just in front of us.
Again, you've seen one of the centre-backs, this time it's Palace centre-backs, outside ones are stepping in and trying to get the overloads in these wide areas as well, and it is a real fascinating game. We haven't had too many clear opportunities, have we? But the intensity's been there, some really good passages as the players.
Just that Mateta chance really of note. It was straight at Perry, but it was hit with such force that it did need a very important save. So currently 0-0 here between Leeds and Crystal Palace on Talksport 2. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport's 2 Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Leeds to win at 9-5, Crystal Palace to win at 19-10. A draw is currently 8-5. That's all thanks to William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Goodmanson will bring the ball just into the Crystal Palace half before he's closed down and dispossessed by Nathaniel Clyne, former England international, 34 years of age now. Started the last 3 Premier League games, including today. Made 13 Premier League appearances last season. A player with such high hopes at one stage before injury just stalled that growth of a career that was really blossoming. An England international during his time with Liverpool. He's making his 272nd Crystal Palace appearance today. He's only scored 1 goal for them. That was back in 2009.
So we don't expect him to score tonight then?
Possibly not. Those odds would be interesting through William Hill. 33 gone. Leeds 0, Crystal Palace 0 over on Talksport. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 1. The ball flung towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's a flick on, but he almost needed himself to be racing onto that ball.
We want a great ball from Perry, to be fair. We were driven with like a 4-iron rather than dropping it into his chest, and that's why he's been criticised a little bit as Perry, that his distribution hasn't been great, and we could see there that it didn't give Calvert-Lewin too much to deal with.
Only Pino and Ketia was sandwiched between the 2 Leeds players and loses possession. Aronson looks over his shoulder. He knew that Bogle would be arriving on the overlap, but Aronson instead is continuing the ball. Big penalty shout right on the corner of the box. Didn't see Bogle as the option, got into the box, turned away from the challenge. It will be checked, of course, but the immediate decision from Thomas Bramall, the referee, was to shake his head. Aronson left on the ground. Daniel Farker, all in black with arms outstretched, as Crystal Palace come forward. Tyreek Mitchell adjacent to the 18-yard line on this left side of the field. Mark Gay comes to join him, the England international, playing the ball back to Lacroix and then to Richards either side of the centre circle on the halfway line for Crystal Palace in their red and blue striped shirts. Here's Gay again, turns away from the challenge of Aronson, whistles from certain parts of the Elland Road crowd as they hope that the decision is being checked once more. We've yet to see a replay here as Nketiah with a neat turn. Mateta, was he onside? Edge of the area, onto his right foot, just slipped slightly as he got the shot away. And it's come from the outside of his right boot and it's curled away from goal. It remains 0-0, 10 minutes of normal time remaining.
Well, we're looking for this now. Aronson breaks into the box and... it's not, is it? I think we're looking at it. Has he caught him or has he got something on the ball as well? It's not... It possibly could go to a decision there to maybe, if he goes and checks it, that Aronson's drove into the box, Wharton has stayed with him, and all of a sudden Mitchell's come back and he's slipped and lost his footing and he went into Aronson. And to be fair to the referee, he's actually let a lot of things go, and that's contributed to the game being really good so far, but he decided at that particular time that he didn't think it was a penalty, and it looks like
the on-field decision has been upheld as we see it again. The other giveaway for me, Simon, is the look from Tyreek Mitchell. That's a guilty look as he glances at the referee. He did slip, which didn't help.
Yeah, but is it contact that has taken Aronson out as well? It's sort of... it's so hard to see the replay because we're trying to watch the replay, we're watching the game at the same time, but interesting what a lot of other people think tonight.
Wharton, born and bred and raised, and began his career with Blackburn Rovers before the move to Crystal Palace in February of 2024. 3 England caps, played in the last 2 games. As it's a left-footed floated ball to Pino on the edge of the area, flag is raised against the Spaniard. The passing range from Wharton is incredible, isn't it? Really talented player.
He certainly is. He has his socks halfway down his legs, doesn't he? His pads are just sticking out, but he's got that sort of languid look about him where he just strolls around, but he's in so much control of the game. He loves getting on the ball, whether it's a 5-yard pass, a 50-yard big diagonal, or a ball round the corner. He's got some talent as that player.
0-0 here at Ellen Road on Talksport 2 between Leeds and Crystal Palace. Over on Talksport, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 1. You can hear commentary of that one on Talksport or on the app, where you can switch between the 2 games. Crystal Palace back in action in their epic season in League and Cup European competition. They're in the League Cup quarter-final at Arsenal on Tuesday night. Kickoff is at 8. Live commentary from Emirates Stadium. The winner of that game will play Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Premier League action on Monday night. Fulham versus Nottingham Forest from Craven Cottage. Tomorrow it's Game Day Live from 2 o'clock. Sam Matterface keeping you in touch with all the action and all the goals as they go in, including the Premier League game between Aston Villa and Manchester United. Ethan Ampadu has another opportunity to send in the long throw from the Leeds left side in front of the giant East Stand, the Jack Charlton stand here at Ellen Road. Once more he'll lean up against the digital advertising boards on that far side. Strike and be all the main threats at the near post. Oh, it's come off Richards, it's Calvert-Lewin and he'll score. Henderson initially pushed the ball out from the Calvert-Lewin header, but as he came back to him, the simplest of tap-ins to make it 5 goals in 5 Premier League games. He's 6th of the season and Ellen Road is rocking. Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, we've talked about the long throwing from Ampadu. He's done it 4 or 5 times and Palace have not been able to deal with the first contact or the second contact. This time I think it's missed everybody and it's gone through to Calvert-Lewin. He's got a side foot, he's free in the box, he gets a side foot. Oh, it's flicked from Mitchell, isn't it? Sorry, not Mitchell. Richards has flicked it on. He's not a Leeds player. Calvert-Lewin's alert, he loses his man, he gets a good side foot and it's a great save from Henderson, to be fair, but Calvert-Lewin follows it in and side foot it's into an empty net. But again, a long throw in, and we've been talking about set pieces and Leeds have been really good in that respect. 1-0 to Leeds United.
Well, the Sheffield-born striker has certainly found a home in Leeds. They sing his name once more. Goals in 5 successive Premier League games. I won't say that was the easiest of his career, but there was one here a couple of weeks ago where he was inches from the line, the simplest one he'll ever score. That wasn't too far out. They all count, and it's a massive lead for Leeds, close to half-time.
Well, again, we mentioned it before that it's not always the first contact from a corner or a long throw-in. This time Richards flicked it on, and to be fair, a striker that's in form, he was on the move and he got the first contact, and a great save, to be fair, from Henderson.
Big handball claims there. We didn't get the best view. It was Mitchell again who was involved in the earlier penalty incident. He had his back to us, but the Leeds fans behind that goal, well, they were convinced. Somehow Daniel Farker was. He had a similar view to us.
I think there's a lot of people in here with rose-tinted glasses, to be fair.
It's Road on. A ball blindly played, although it will be kept in play by Bogle. That was a real lost cause. Calvert-Lewin will give chase. Via Lacroix, it will go back to Dean Henderson, the Palace goalkeeper, who launches it long and high down the centre of the field. Biol is there, the defender. And it will be kept in play by Pascal Strike, who again goes high and long, this time down the far touchline. Ampadu will bring it under control and brings a sense of calmness to the game. 5 minutes before half-time, Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin once again with the goals as Leeds looking to make it a 4-game Premier League unbeaten run. Still Everton 0, Arsenal 1 over on Talksport.
it's amazing what confidence can do, because maybe Calvert-Lewin, maybe previously if he was not scoring goals, he might have not took that gamble and tried to get in on the next phase of play, but he was anticipating, he was looking to score goals, he's hungry, and to have 5 in 5 is a real big fillip for his confidence as well. He's been very good since he's come here, and people know about his quality. Been questioned a little bit about his sort of his number of games that he's played, but when he's fit, he's certainly a handful, and at this morning time Leeds United benefit from him.
Gudmundsson over the touchline to Okafor, just ran out of pitch there. He tried to flick it back in field as he was about to fall in towards the advertising hoardings. Calvert-Lewin, he was caught by Lacroix as the ball ran free. It was a 50-50. Referee had a decent view of that, wasn't far from it. He's going to bring a halt to play, because not only is Calvert-Lewin down, I think he's holding his lead. Will Hughes was down as well, the Crystal Palace midfielder. Lacroix is actually shown a yellow card for that challenge. Didn't seem as though he'd given a free kick initially, the referee. He was happy to let play carry on. It's
a strange one, isn't it, that if you book him like he has done, unless it's for some dissent that we've not seen since, but if he thinks it's a yellow card, then he should probably just give him a free kick in the first place, because the challenge and where the ball went to didn't result in landing on a Leeds United player. So quite a strange decision really, but Leeds will benefit from it. Calvert-Lewin looks like he's okay.
He's back on his feet, and he's scored in 5 successive games. You do not want to leave the field, although he is contesting with Thomas Bramall, the referee, a bit more. Not quite sure what his point will be here. He's got a free kick, the yellow card has been shown. What more would he want there?
I'm not quite sure, unless you think it's a bit more severe than that, maybe a red card, but yeah, he's got a yellow card. Calvert-Lewin's got a goal. I think he's been a bit greedy, to be fair.
Ball floated in from Stat to the right side of the penalty area, nearly dropped for Rodon. His header fell into the path of Mark Guéhi. Mitchell will hook the ball clear, but it will drop out for a throw on this near side. Ethan Ampadu, I don't think has took a long throw from this side, and he's in the right place to pick the ball up from the plinth, just in front of the Crystal Palace fans in the away section on this west side of the ground, this old grandstand that has stood proud for so many years. Ampadu wipes the ball on the towel. He stands a good 25 yards from the penalty area. It's an angled run as he faces the 18-yard box. Again, the threats will come from Shrike and Biol, and it's Biol, it's his flick on. It will be headed clear initially by Nketiah, but only as far as Gudmundsson. It's a real battle of strength on the far side, and Nketiah just able to hook the ball away from Gudmundsson as he was heading towards that far corner flag. Leeds 1, Palace 0. Talksport 2 minutes of normal time to play in the first half.
Yeah, just looking there from the long throw, who was marking Calvert-Lewin? It's actually Adam Wharton was doing it. The centre-backs are in the middle of the goal there, looking for the first contact to win the first header. But again, we see it's gone to the opposite side, and it is Adam Wharton who's marking Calvert-Lewin, who's probably got not the most defensive mindset in that Palace 18-yard box.
Another long throw from Ampadu, this time from the left side. Rodon rising, comes to the edge of the area. Brendan Aronson, he's got Guéhi shadowing his every move, and he's turned and played it back towards the halfway line where Jayden Bogle and now Ampadu will keep Leeds in possession. Ampadu surveying the scene from the centre circle inside the Palace half. It's out to Aronson. It's a lovely flicked ball into Stack. It's a vicious cross that was palmed away by Henderson. Strike with a shot deflected and wide. Another Leeds corner. More pressure mounting at the end of a half that Leeds are leading by a goal to nil.
Well, you can see the confidence levels in this Leeds team. It's going sky high at the moment. All of a sudden you've got Aronson flicking a centre-back who's making that forward run. Stacky gets it in the box, and all of a sudden great ball across, gets it cleared away by a Palace shirt. Ball to Pascal Strike, gets a good attempt on target, goes away for another corner. It's been a really impressive 5-10 minutes for Leeds.
The Leeds fans in full voice. Their side leading as Stack's corner is headed by Rodon towards the far post. It drops wide as we go into 4 additional minutes at the end of this first half. Leeds 1, Palace 0.
Yeah, I think we're looking at Oliver Glasner now. He's a bit he'd be relieved to get into half-time with it only being 1-0, to be fair. I thought they started the game really well. Leeds have been dominating in these last 10-15 minutes and been very close on a couple of occasions to getting that second goal. But it's going to be interesting talk at half-time from both coaches, to be fair.
Palace have won 5 of their last 6 away games in all competitions. They've won their last 3 away from home in the Premier League, at Fulham, at Burnley and at Wolves. But he is very animated right now, Oliver Glasner. Someone on that bench is getting a right earful, as Chris Richards will come and collect the ball over on the far side of the field. He's using the towel that was placed for Ethan Ampadu. Richards himself is going to try a long throw. It's from some distance. Yeah. He's midway inside the Leeds half. In fact, maybe slightly further back than that. Again, he's got this angled run where he's facing the penalty area, raises a left hand. And it's a decent throw which will reach the penalty area. It was flicked by a Leeds player. Nearly came to Nketiah before Strike volleyed the ball clear. Poor pass towards Mitchell, closed down by Okafor, able to send it across the halfway line to Wharton. First time left-footed ball to the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Pascal Strike's header down to Ampadu, who was tripped by Gay, who was getting back into his defensive position. Gay claiming it was totally accidental and a tangle of legs, but he's going to be shown a yellow card, the second of the game, to a Palace player. Yeah, it looked like Ampadu was just going to get away from him, and then he's probably just clipped him as well at the same time. But I think in this day and age it's a soft yellow card for him to receive, but probably one that he deserved. But when you look at Palace in this last 10-15 minutes of not being able to get Hughes and Wharton on the ball like they did in that first 10-15 minutes, where they got Pino and Nketiah into little pockets and little areas and caused Leeds a lot of problems, and Leeds weathered that storm and have come through it with flying colours. We're in injury time at Ellen Road in this Premier League game on Talksport 2, where it's Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring in his 5th successive Premier League game to give Leeds what could be a half-time lead. Can they increase it with a long throw? The goal came via a long throw from Ethan Ampadu, and he's going to collect the ball and dry it on the towel that's provided by the ball girl on that far side of the field. He's adjacent with the penalty area. Strike and Biol, always the threats at the near post, with Rodon and Calvert-Lewin behind them, looking for the flick on, looking for anything that will drop their way. Much lower trajectory to that one. Still inside the penalty area after it came off Strike. It's going to come back to the defender, moves it quickly back to the left side to Ampadu. It's a right-footed ball in, dangerously delivered but cleared by Lacroix. Aronson's volley doesn't get any distance, it just goes high into the air, and then Nketiah repeats what Aronson did and boots the ball out for a Leeds throw, which means Ampadu can deliver again.
Panic mode there, wasn't it, from Palace? They sort of dealt with the first couple of balls that were into that box, and Nketiah there, he just had a wild swipe, and it's allowed Ampadu in this last minute of injury time to put another long throw in the box.
Ampadu in front of the Crystal Palace supporters, and it's a throw that's launched again a bit lower. This great flick on, it's going to be through, and it's Calvert-Lewin again. It was Biol's flick, and at the far post, lurking was the striker, who is in a mean streak right now, and Calvert-Lewin has his second of the game, and in first half injury time, Leeds extend their lead. It's 2-0 against Crystal Palace. Ellen Road rocks once more.
Well, it's amazing where goals can come from. We've just spoke about the carnage and the anxiety that Crystal Palace was showing there, and Nketiah, he slashed at one and became another long throw, and all of a sudden Bijol has been really strong in the air, and again Calvert-Lewin's on the move. He's been marked by Adam Wharton, who's ball watching. Calvert-Lewin's going in the right areas where a centre forward does, gets on the end of it and shows a composure to head it down past Dean Henderson, and it skids off the turf, back of the net. Ellen Road's rocking.
Calvert-Lewin scoring goals number 6 and 7 of this Premier League season. And what a tonic, right on half-time. Listen to the noise. Leeds lead. They could go 4 unbeaten in the Premier League. They could extend a lovely gap to 6 points between them and the final relegation spot heading in towards Christmas. A double from Dominic Calvert-Lewin is what has given Leeds that half-time advantage. Palace arguably started the better. Jean-Philippe Mateta with a shot just on the edge of the area, 19 minutes in, tested the palms of goalkeeper Lucas Perry. But the two Leeds goals have come from long throws. The first after 38 minutes from the left from Ethan Ampadu. Flicked on by Palace defender Richards, came to Calvert-Lewin, first effort saved by Henderson, fell nicely into his path to tap home from close range, his first of the game, the second right on half-time, this time from the right from Ampadu. Beale's flick on, Calvert-Lewin at the far post, a low downward header out of the reach of Henderson. And Simon Grayson, the noise around Ellen Road pre-match was excellent, but it was deafening after that second goal went in.
Yeah, it certainly was. I've been here the last few weeks at games, and the Chelsea game, it was rocking as the Liverpool game a few days later, and it was rocking before the game. And Palace, to be fair to them, started the game well, and they managed to take the sting out of the game, and Leeds weathered that storm, to be fair. Didn't really show too much going forward, and all of a sudden set pieces at the Stack started it really with some good in-swinging corners, the three big centre-backs were up there. Then all of a sudden you've got like the long throw flicked on by Richards, Calvert-Lewin, who's in good form, anticipated where it might land and got in there for the first one. And just when you thought it was going to be 1-0 to Leeds at half-time, Nketiah makes that, slashes at something, and then get another long throw in, and Bijol, first contact, Calvert-Lewin on the move again, great downward header, and again the noise inside Ellen Road was just reward for a real strong second half of the first half performance.
You mentioned Oliver Glasner. He was pretty animated. He was getting pretty annoyed as that half went on. I suppose you can sympathise with his feelings, maybe going back to your days as a manager, even here at Leeds. What will he try and be saying at half-time to get his side back into it? They've got a wretched record after European games as well. Yeah,
look, I think there's a couple of subs that are warming up to start with. I think he might be looking to make a change. Did he change the system or just personnel? Be interesting what he maybe does. I think it's Lehmann that looks like he potentially could be one of them changes. Look, he's in a position where he's made all the changes from Tuesday night because that team isn't his Premier League team. But they did start the game well. We talked about Hughes and we talked about Walton. They were affecting the game really well, and then Leeds got a foothold into it. They stopped them two from playing. They grew with the confidence, and once you get this place rocking and the supporters behind you, there's no stopping things. What can happen at times? Just in terms of Leeds, we touched on it very briefly in the first half. The change of system. Daniel Farke had gone with a back four throughout the season. They'd lost 4 on the bounce in November. He switches to a back 3, back 5, depending how you look at it. Potentially, depending how the second half goes, 4 games unbeaten. Is it as simple as changing a system, or is it just that change and maybe one result that builds confidence and you get someone like Calvert-Lewin on a run of form? Is it just about the system? Is it more to it than that? I think it's a bit of both, to be fair. I think 2-0 down at Man City, he had nothing to lose, and there's been lots of people talking about, and certain managers in the Premier League don't listen to social media too often, I'm sure, but he decided to go for and play 3-5-2 and played really well, dominated Man City from majority of that second half, got back to 2-2, and then Foden scored a 91st minute winner for them, and they kept the same system because it had worked and beat Chelsea, and all of a sudden the system seemed to suit a lot of players, but also the confidence grew from that second half performance against Man City, but then beating Chelsea and played really well against them, and then go to Liverpool, play Liverpool off the back of that, you're going into high spirits, but then you got 2-0 down in that game, but they didn't let the heads drop. They kept them believing, the crowd believed that they could get something out of it, and ended up a 3-3. So all of a sudden, a week that they were going into playing at City, playing against Chelsea, against Liverpool, got some good points, and that set them up for last week against Brentford and today against Crystal Palace. Half-time here at Ellen Road. It's Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. Over on Talksport, half-time there as well. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Second half of this one here at Ellen Road to come here on Talksport 2.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Don't miss any of the tungsten-tipped top-flight action as the biggest names in darts jockey at the hockey for world domination. The PDC World Darts Championship on Talksport and Talksport 2 with Village Hotels. Get live commentary throughout the entire tournament on Talksport 2, plus full, unrivaled coverage of the final from Ali Pali on Talksport. The PDC World Darts Championship live on Talksport and Talksport 2 with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out, play.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Ha, love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game, cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Whoa, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim. No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals. Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action. Think you've said it all there, Clive. Sorry, Jim. Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
Same.
Ho, ho, ho!
Same.
3, 2, 1!
Same.
Oh, thanks.
Same.
What does Santa call his dog?
Same. Same.
One word. 3 syllables.
Same. Same.
Sorry, it's a bit dry.
New plates.
Ooh.
Treat your table to something different this Christmas. Visit your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is learning the ropes.
So, Mo, with Click and Collect, we get orders ready fast. So customers are out of here and back to their jobs in as little as 1 minute. What are you doing?
Deep lunges. It's my warm-up. I need to be in peak condition for when orders come in.
Love that intensity, Mo. Laser focused. You might even have what it takes to beat my PB one day.
Back in the mouth.
Click and collect in as little as 1 minute. Screwfix. No stopping you.
Ultimate Sports Radio.
What a moment!
This is Talksport 2. All the breaking big sports news, live football scores and interviews. There's transfer fees and injuries, even full match commentaries.
The Talksport app. Hear, watch and scroll unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want. Available from the App Store now. Terms and conditions apply.
It's another day of box office football here on Talksport. So let's have a quick rundown of today's blockbusting lineup. In midfield, it's Anthony Flash Gordon.
Get heroic coverage of every epic clash.
Morgan Buck Rogers.
On the radio station that knows, with great power comes great responsibility.
And Martin Odegaardians of the Galaxy.
Well, these are the nights when heroes are made, where history will be written.
Also, Kyle Skywalker.
Magnificent counter-attack.
And Tyrone Mings the Merciless.
Supporters assemble! Captain's goal!
Talksport. Fired up and raring to go.
He's done it again!
Game day.
The games, the goals, the glory.
How about that?
Game day exclusive
On Talksport 2.
Let's hope the action and the drama continues late into the evening here in West Yorkshire. This cannot be 0-0. It simply can't. The stats are there. Strike. And Biola, the main threats at the near post. Oh, it's come off Richards. It's Calvert-Lewin and he'll score. Henderson initially pushed the ball out from the Calvert-Lewin header, but as he came back to him, the simplest of tap-ins.
Again, a long throw-in, and we've been talking about set pieces, and Leeds have been really good in that respect. 1-0 to Leeds United.
Well, the Sheffield-born striker has certainly found a home in Leeds. They sing his name once more, and it's a throw that's launched again a bit lower. This great flick on, oh, it's going to be through, and it's Calvert-Lewin again. It was Biol's flick, and at the far post, lurking was the striker, who is in a mean streak right now, and Calvert-Lewin has his second of the game.
Skids off the turf, back of the net. Ellen Rhodes rocking.
2-0 against Crystal Palace. You're listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Leeds versus Crystal Palace, live right now. Search Now Sports. Here at Ellen Road, half-time Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. Earlier today on the Talksport network, we brought you our first Premier League commentary of the afternoon as Newcastle and Chelsea played out a very entertaining 2-2 draw at St James's Park. The Magpies squandered a 2-goal lead, and after the match, our very own Adam Bridge caught up with their boss, Eddie Howe.
Eddie, that was really a game of two halves. That if you want to typify a game of two halves, that was really it, wasn't it?
I'm not sure I'm in total agreement with that. Okay. I think we were really, really good in the first half. I thought we were outstanding. Everything that we want to be was there, and I thought we were good in the second half without hitting the heights. But I don't think it was Chelsea dominating the second half. I thought we were more than in it, and that third goal, I thought we could get at any time.
Did you feel like perhaps in the second half you should have had a penalty? I know VAR had a look for that foul on Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, without a doubt. For me, that's a clear penalty. I think the defender's gone in overly aggressively. He's only had eyes on Anthony. For me, it's a stonewall penalty.
Excellent response from Nick Voltemade. Obviously had the tough experience last Sunday, but to go out and score 2 goals early today on home turf, you must have been really pleased with that.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent today. The goals are fitting reward for his performance, really. Athletically, that's the best he's been. He's covered a lot of ground. He's linked play really well, especially in the first half. I thought he was really good and fully deserves his 2.
The aggression you showed and the press and everything, it looked like a Newcastle, probably the best home performance in that first half you've had this season.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think that first half was good in every aspect. I think our press was excellent. Our defensive half shape was excellent. Our attacking threat was there in the game. Counter-attacked really well too. Players looked mentally really good and physically really good, which is some statement after playing so soon again on Wednesday. So massive from the players, and it shows what we are capable of. I think we are trending in the right direction as a team. I think since the last international break, we've seen a big upturn, I think, on the consistency of performance, Sunderland apart. So I'm happy, but really disappointed we haven't won today.
A couple more dropped points as well. That must be one of the frustrating things this season. That's 13 now for the campaign. Is there anything you feel that maybe needs to happen differently to just push those games across the line?
Yeah, we're working on that tirelessly and continuously, and we'll have to do some more. I think the free kick changes the game today, and that's a moment from Reece James that is highest quality from him. We know he's capable from that range. I mean, he was a long way out. I think that changes the game. That gives them renewed hope, and we made a mistake for the second goal, a couple of little errors in the build-up to that, but I still think we were trying to attack and the chances were there to win the game.
That was our first Premier League commentary of the afternoon. Earlier today, Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2. 5 commentaries in total today on the Talksport network. Right now over on Talksport, it's half-time, Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Coming up tomorrow, we've got Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, keeping you in touch with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League, but he'll also have an eye on the Scottish Premiership, the AFCON, and maybe checking in on the darts as well. On Monday, Fulham versus Nottingham Forest in the Premier League live commentary with Sam Matterface and the former England midfielder Danny Murphy. And Crystal Palace, who we're watching here, they're back in action on Tuesday. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, Carabao Cup quarter-final. It's live on Talksport with former Chelsea defender Scott Minto alongside Jim Proudfoot. Adrian Durham will be there as well to host everything throughout the evening, and the winner of that Carabao Cup quarter-final tie between Arsenal and Palace will face Chelsea in the semi-final. We've got a bumper Boxing Day for you as well. 4 championship commentaries across Talksport and Talksport 2. We've got a Premier League commentary on Boxing Day evening. That's Manchester United versus Newcastle. And we've got Game Day Live with Adrian Durham as well. You do not need to leave your seat on Boxing Day. Get the Talksport app, flick between Talksport 1, Talksport 2. You have got Boxing Day sorted. Here at Ellen Road, half-time in the Premier League on Talksport 2. It is Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the 2 goals. Former Leeds manager Simon Grayson is alongside me. What Leeds don't do very well at the moment, Simon, is keep clean sheets. They kept 2 in their opening 3 games, but none in the last 13. I don't sense Daniel Farker is in there telling the players, let's get the clean sheet. Is it the sense of best way to defend is to keep going forward?
Yes, but also they've started the second half in a few games this season really poorly. Aston Villa got 2 early goals a few weeks ago, and Liverpool did as well. So it's a real nice position to be in, but you've got to be on the front foot. You've got to be positive, but you've got to make sure you sort of do the right things. We've seen Crystal Palace making a sub. You've got Jefferson Lerma coming on for looks like it's Will Hughes. So Oliver Glasner has decided he needs to make a change, not in the system but personnel. But Leeds needs to play from the shape of the game, the team again, where they're pressing well and make sure that when Palace have got the ball, they're not allowing the opposition too many holes, too many pockets, because they certainly did that in the first 15 minutes and Palace looked a threat.
Jefferson Lerma on for his 99th Crystal Palace appearance. He was captain on Thursday night in the Europa Conference League game against Kupion Pelliceira, on at half-time replacing Will Hughes. Lerma, the former Bournemouth midfielder, Colombian international. He's got one eye on the World Cup in the summer as well. Leeds all in white, kicking towards the Kop end, the Don Revy Kop to our left-hand side in this second half. Ellen Road has been boisterous throughout the evening on a cold December night. The mist has drifted away slightly as Crystal Palace start the half with a corner. And as you said, Simon, Leeds haven't started second halves particularly well recently. These will be nervous moments.
Yeah, they certainly will. I think it's something Palace that will be aware of from the previous games. So Oliver Glasner will have said, make sure we get on the ball, we ask questions straight away and get a little bit of nervousness into that defensive backline, because they have conceded too many goals too early in the second half of games.
Jeremy Pino will take the corner on the Palace left. It will be a right-footed in swinger. Gay and Richards at the near post. It was Calvert-Lewin defending and clearing, although the box is still loaded. If Palace can get the ball in, Mitchell missed his kick totally. Richards gets a touch but just feeds the ball straight to a Leeds player, and it's Stack who can approach the halfway line on this left side and slides a ball looking for Gudmundsson. Mitchell will make amends for that earlier error by getting across and just poking the ball away for a throw. But both of Leeds' goals in the first half came from Ethan Ampadu long throws, and he's going to line another one up here. 2-0 the first 90 seconds of the second half.
I don't think there's going to be any surprises what they're going to do here. I don't think they're going to go short, given the success that they had in the first half. Again, Palace will have been told by maybe a set-piece coach that they've got to get first contact and be alert to the second ones.
Ethan Ampadu with a TV cameraman lurking behind him. Richards heads away at the near post on the edge of the 6-yard area. Stack will head the ball back towards the penalty area. It's quite awkward, it was slightly behind him, but used as many of his neck muscles as he could to get some power to keep Leeds on the attack, but it will drop to Mark Gay, and it's Palace in their red and blue striped shirts that will come forward. First big touch here for Jefferson Lerma with a right-footed curl pass to the near side to Nathaniel Klein. Can't see a route forward. Plays the ball back to Richards, the American defender, who is on the halfway line as Palace switch to play to the left. Goes down the line to Nketiah. First time touch back into his own half. He was under real pressure from Joe Rodon. Palace keeping possession, but they need a goal. They're 2 goals behind thanks to Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting a double in the first half. Over on Talksport, it's Everton 0, Arsenal 1. They're back underway there. As Mateta comes deep to collect the ball on the halfway line into Jeremy Pino. It's a cross-field pass that didn't quite have the power to reach Nketiah or Lerma on that far side. It was headed away by Bogle. This is Aronson. He's got a bit of room on the right side and he's bringing the ball forward. Gay has come across to try and deal with the American international. Lays it back to Bogle. Immediately gives it back to Aronson. It's a low ball that's headed away by Lacroix, and it comes into Jeremy Pino. Good hold-up play by Mateta, but maybe not. Ampadu just gets in front of the French international to steal the ball back, and Leeds have it again. Urged on by the home crowd. Leeds 2, Palace 0.
Just seen Oliver Glasner there. He wasn't happy with Pino because he hit that diagonal, and all of a sudden Bogle gets it, and it wasn't an easy pass in the first place, but he had Nathaniel Klein outside him. He just wanted to give him a 10-yard pass, and it's 1 versus 1, and he hits a diagonal, gets intercepted, and before you know it, Leeds were back on the attack. And again, we've seen Klasner. He's not happy with his team at the moment. They're giving the ball away too many times.
It was Mateta there who didn't bring the ball under control. It was fizzed into him with his back to goal. Long ball forward for Leeds, headed clear by Mitchell, the left wing back, but it's won back by Aronson. Sliding tackle was from Eddie Nketiah, former Arsenal man. There's a slip on the far side. Mitchell again, it must be the third or fourth time in this game he slipped. One of them nearly led to a Leeds penalty in the first half.
Yeah, there's a few players have been doing that over the last few weeks at the surface. I'm not sure if it's reasoning behind it, but yeah, Mitchell seems to have struggled most of this second half and first half as well with his footing.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin away on the far side by the corner flag, manages to hook a ball into the penalty area, away by Richards, shot by Stack, took a deflection, and Leeds corner inside the first 5 minutes of this second half that they lead 2-0 here on Talksport 2.
Well, it was on an area you expect Calvert-Lewin to be. He goes into the right-hand side as a right winger. Ideally, you'd like to have seen him in the middle and Bogle crossing it, but at least got bodies in there, comes out to edge of the box, hits the shot. Another set piece for Leeds. This time it will be an outswinger, but his delivery so far tonight has been very good.
Anton Stack will raise his right arm by the corner, which is in front of the Don Revicott right side. It's an outswinger that Biel flung himself towards. It was headed away. It will come to Gudmundsson, manages to dig out a shot blocked by Mateta, not too far away from the goal. May have been going wide, but couldn't take the risk. Leeds have it now on the halfway line with Jayden Bogle. Buoyed on by a capacity raucous crowd here at Ellen Road. Gudmundsson manages to spin and feed the ball down the left side to Okafor. Onto his right foot, low ball, headed away by Lacroix, just on the edge of the 6-yard area. Drops here for Mateta, trying to bring the ball under control, bouncing awkwardly in front of him, and as he does so, Ethan Ampadu sliding in from behind, takes the ball away from the Frenchman, trying to get Leeds back on the offensive, and Rodon has it. Ball down the right of the box to Calvert-Lewin, manages to win another corner off Richards. This is incessant pressure from Leeds.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look, we hear the big cheer from Ampadu's tackle as loud as when Calvert-Lewin scored, and that's what the Leeds faithful like at times. They like seeing people putting the foot in there and breaking up attacks, and Ampadu does that really well, and it led to being on the front foot, getting more attacks going, and another set piece on that far side.
Leeds corner. Anton Stack, who took one a moment ago, will take this one as well. Leeds leading by 2-0. Could go 4 unbeaten if it stays like this. And Nketiah at the near post, a cushioned header back out of play, but it will give Leeds an opportunity from the throw as Ethan Ampadu just trots slowly towards that far side. A standing ovation for the Leeds captain as he goes to collect the ball in his third season now. Ethan Ampadu, after joining from Chelsea, had loans with RB Leipzig and Sheffield United. He had a couple of spells in Italy, the Welsh international. The Leeds captain is preparing to launch a throw from the far side. He's 8 yards away from the Leeds goal. Henderson a few yards off his line. Richards and Lacroix at the near post trying to deal with Strike and Biel, the two big Leeds threats from the throw. And it's Lacroix who heads away for a Leeds United corner. 2-0.
Yeah, another that long throw. It's asking questions all the time, and the one thing you've got people, loads of white shirts are all on the move. They're trying to disrupt the Palace back line, trying to get in front of people, first contact, or trying to make sure that Palace don't get a real clear header, and it's been constant pressure in this opening 7 or 8 minutes.
Anton Stack, this time it's two arms that are raised. Something different from this set piece. Outswinging again towards the penalty spot. Richards with a big leap and a big header. Difficult to miss him with the afro, but he came in amongst a crowd of players there. But the flag was raised on the far side, so it will be a Palace throw. We've had 53 minutes, Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. The second half so far, Simon, has been pretty breathless.
Yeah, it certainly has, and it's been played predominantly in the Crystal Palace defensive third. Leeds setting up from this goal kick, looking to press, keep the pressure on, the intensity. The Leeds faithful asking him to do a real workman-like performance, but they've certainly been a threat as well, win possession of the ball. You're
listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it but now at enterprise.co.uk. Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0 here on Talksport 2. On Talksport right now, it's Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal could go back on top of the table after Manchester City took pole position earlier today with a home win against West Ham. Here's Goodmanson, a ball in from the left. Oh, so close to Calvert-Lewin in a hat-trick. It was just whipped away from him by Lacroix. The cross took a deflection, which nearly fell even kinder for Calvert-Lewin.
Well, Palace got away with one there. It was great play from Aronson. He found Goodmanson, who broke into the box. All of a sudden, he whips it across that 6-yard area, and it could have gone in off a Palace shirt or a Leeds shirt. And fortunately, from Palace' perspective, they were able to get a clearance, but it was great play again there. Palace now looking to counter-attack, but giving the ball away, and Ola Glasner is not happy with his players at this moment in time. They've got to withstand this pressure, because if the Leeds get the next goal, it's certainly going to be very, very difficult to come back from 3-0.
Palace giving the ball away so cheaply at times as they did just then, and it's allowed Leeds, as they have done here, knocking the ball back to Lucas Perry. The Brazilian goalkeeper can just put his foot on the ball, slow things down. It has been such a high tempo start for Leeds. They probably just need to take a slight breather before they try and come forward again. 55 minutes gone of the game. Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. Talksport Breakfast is back on Monday 6 a.m. with Ali McCoist and Gabby Agbonlahor. They'll be looking back at all the weekend's football before building up to the Christmas festive fixtures. They'll be coming thick and fast, and Talksport will have everything covered. Water, first time ball to Klein, space to take the ball into Leeds half. Oliver Glasner screaming at Klein right in front of him to break forward at pace, and he didn't. It was slow, it was lethargic, and Glasner turns, bows his head. He is not happy.
Yeah, well, I think Klein there had a lot of space in front of him to take the ball 20-30 yards and get his team further at the pitch, but he took a little bit of a negative decision and invited a little bit of pressure from Leeds again on the press, and they win the ball back.
Stack to Bogle, right of the centre circle. Mitchell moving infield with Bogle, the Palace left wing back, who's come through the academy at Crystal Palace, over 200 appearances. No foul there. Richards and Okafor colliding. The referee is Thomas Bramall, and he's having none of that.
I think it was more Okafor looking for from the free kick from Richards, really. But it's been certainly an intense start from Leeds. They've got to manage the game well, because they can't keep going 100 miles an hour, because they'll blow a gasket as well, and got to get back into the shape sometimes, because Palace will have opportunities.
Klein's cross blocked by Goodmanson, just to the right of the penalty area. I think he took that one in the stomach, slightly winded. Goodmanson, who joined from Lille in the summer, Swedish-born defender, still holding his chest as he takes his position to defend this Crystal Palace corner. By my reckoning, this is Crystal Palace' first corner of the game, 57 minutes in. Some of the Leeds fans behind that goal swinging their scarves above their head, all of them on their feet. It's a corner from Wharton. It's a header away from Stack. Picked up on the far side by Jeremy Pino. Gets to the byline. Evades the challenge of Stack. Low ball in. Bogle on the stretch can get the ball clear. Will be a Palace throw.
Again, you look at Stack there. He's wanted to put pressure on Pino straight away, because he knows that if he allows him too much time, he's got good technique. He'll find an opportunity to ask the back three of Leeds and wing backs questions.
57.5 minutes gone at Ellen Road on Talksport 2. Leeds 2, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with 2. It's a Crystal Palace long throw. Ethan Ampadu, the creator of those 2 goals with long throws, heading that one clear. Palace trying to get a route back into the game, but as Leeds clear, Mark Gay's only real option was to go all the way back to Dean Henderson in the Palace goal. I say all the way back, he stood midway inside his own half, and he launches the ball towards the far side of the field. Left Jefferson Lerma again, just gifting Leeds possession. And Ampadu looks up from inside his own half, swings the ball towards Okafor, intercepted by the American defender Chris Richards. Here's Nketiah under pressure from Roden, who has tracked the run of the former Arsenal striker all the way back into his own half. Is that the advantage of a back three, where one of the defenders can, if they want, drift into that different position, knowing they're well covered?
Yeah, because they can be positive, because it is more or less man for man, but sometimes you've got to be brave and step in and make sure that people can't get on the half turn and then get the opportunity to run at you or find a path forward. So Leeds have been really positive with Roden stepping in and Bijol and Pascal Strike as well, and so far it's been so good for Leeds.
Leeds have a throw close enough to the area where you thought Ethan Ampadu might fancy it, but it's been left to Gabriel Gudmundsson with a throw down the side of the penalty area to Aronson. The challenge of Klein leads to a Leeds corner. 59 gone, Leeds 2, Palace 0.
Again, just panic stations in the Palace back line at this moment in time. We've got opportunities of clearing things, and it's going out for set pieces all along. I was going to mention to you before, Nathan Ampadu with hat-trick of assists from 3 long throw-ins. Has that ever been done in the Premier League?
I'm thinking with Calvert-Lewin, I'm trying to think what foot he finished the first one with, because he's on for a perfect hat-trick here as Stack sends in the corner away at the near post, and Nketiah rising high. Ball back into the area, bobbling around, Ampadu will score! Well, he set up the first 2 with the throws, and he's on hand from close range to steer home Leeds' third of the game. Ampadu, the Leeds skipper, with his first goal of the season in front of a packed Ellen Road. Is it 3 points? Well, it should be now. Their dominance is really paying, and they extend their lead. Palace looked at the referee's assistant, the flag stayed down, and for now at Leeds, it's Leeds 3, Palace 0.
Well, we just mentioned there about Ampadu, could he get an assist to get a hat-trick? Never really thought he would be on the score sheet, because he doesn't score too often. This time it's another set piece, win the second phase, and it bobbles all the way through, and he's the first one to react to it, and he manages just his side to get a little toe end and past Dean Henderson. Yeah, but Palace are looking for offside, but I don't think it is. Again, set piece, second phase, being alert on the front foot. Palace have not been able to deal with these set pieces, and big opportunity, 3 points for Leeds. Now they're 3-0 up. Oliver Glasner's got some big decisions to make in changing the system, but at this moment in time they're not able to do the basics, and that's basic defending of set pieces.
It's his first ever Premier League goal, only his 3rd goal in his Leeds career. His other 2 came in an FA Cup tie at Peterborough back in January 2024. Sorry, Adrian. There is a slight pause as that goal is checked by VAR. Thomas Bramall, the referee, stood waiting for the nod. But I think, as Simon said, we assume and expect it to be given. Although this is going on much longer than we probably expected, based on your quick view in real time and then looking at the initial replay. Goal given. Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, that's as big a cheer that you get all night for the 3rd one, and a VAR decision as well. Again, as I was mentioning before, never really expecting Nathan Ampadu to get a goal tonight. He got his 2 assists, but yeah, from his perspective, on the front foot, gambled, got in there. 3-0 Leeds United, and a long way for Palace to come back from.
Klein for Palace, a low ball dealt with by Struijk. And the Leeds fans behind the goal to our right, the Norman Hunter stand, well, they're bouncing, the scarf's been swung around their heads. Christmas has come early at Ellen Road.
Yeah, it's got a lively atmosphere here. Obviously, when I was manager here and I support the football club, then it's I've used some great nights here as well, but there's nothing greater at times to see the whole place rocking. And to be fair to the team, they've given us support, something to cheer about. They've played with endeavour, they've played on the front foot, they've been positive, they've won first phases, have been second battles all over the pitch. If again there goes up Mateta, and you've got Bijol, he's going in and making it difficult for him, and then it drops to Ampadu. At least got retention of the ball again, can manage the game, take the sting out of the game. Palace got to find a way of a few substitutions to see what they can do to try and get the next goal as quickly as possible.
63 minutes gone here at Ellen Road. Talksport 2, Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0. Over on Talksport right now, Everton 0, Arsenal 1. That Gyökeres penalty in the first half at the moment has done enough to put Arsenal back on top of the Premier League. If you want to flick between the two games for the commentary, download the Talksport app, where you can swipe for Talksport, swipe back for Talksport 2. Goals in both games. And at the minute, Leeds potentially have their first clean sheet. Been 13 Premier League games since been able to say that, but still 30 minutes to go.
I was going to say there's a long time to go. Yeah, with the record of clean sheets so far, it's not a guarantee. But from Palace's point of view, they need to react very quickly. They can't feel sorry for themselves. They need to get back on the ball, get Wharton on it, try and create like he did in the first 15-20 minutes. We've not really seen too much of the two number 10s in Nketiah and Pino as well in the second half.
It's going to run here. Oh, it's a deflection and it's wide. It was Rode on the right centre half, arriving just inside the penalty area, right side. The ball was rolled into him by Anton Stack, and it was a shot that just took a nick off a Palace defender and just spun away and wide, but it will be a Leeds corner.
Well, again, the confidence of this Leeds team at this moment in time. You've got Rode on the right centre-back, he's stepping in and getting his shots off as well, and we've seen other players doing that. Look at Palace now are making at least one substitution. I think it's Nathaniel Klein coming off, is it?
Klein off, it is Borna Sosa, the Croatian, who is coming on. He's only made one Premier League appearance, and that was as a last-minute sub in a defeat at Arsenal. He started 3 games in the Europa Conference. As Stats corner delivered to the far side. Great save from Henderson. It's a goal, Mount scramble. Oh, it's somewhere in between a body of legs. Limbs everywhere. Palace clear. It was strike at the back post. A downward header. Henderson with a save. Point blank. Great reflexes. And then it was just a melee of players by that far post. No one in a Leeds shirt could turn it home. The first touch for Sosa was to make the clearance.
Wow, it's a proper old-fashioned melee in that box there. A great opportunity for Strike. He gets the header in the first place, and to be fair to Henderson, it's a great header because the header's it's a great save from the header. Is about 4 or 5 yards out. All of a sudden, I think it's Goodmanson's going amongst it. The Palace boots are there, and they're very fortunate that they get contact and get the clearance, and that could have been certainly game over. It had been 4-0, but yeah, it's all happening.
Talking about Leeds and a clean sheet would be a surprise. What's been the biggest surprise is Crystal Palace today. Before tonight's game, 16 points away from home, the most in the Premier League. 5 away wins in the Premier League this season, the most in the league. But the performance just hasn't lived up to billing of Palace's away form.
No, it hasn't. Apart from that first 10-15 minutes we spoke about, where Hughes and Wharton were dominating the ball, Pino was getting into little pockets. Leeds then weathered that storm, to be fair, and all of a sudden they've galvanised themselves of Leeds, and they've got the first goal. I think the first goal at Ellen Road is crucial because sometimes the opposition get in, it can make it a lot more difficult, but once Leeds get it, the crowd is certainly bouncing around and really sort of pushing the team on, and they've gone from strength to strength, and this isn't a Palace team that you're expecting to see 3-0 down with the record that they've got this season.
You're listening to Leeds versus Crystal Palace on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Leeds United versus Crystal Palace live right now. Search Now Sport. 67 minutes gone here. Henderson, having received treatment, the Palace goalkeeper is back on his feet. Leeds 3, Palace 0 here. 67 minutes gone. Over on Talksport, it's Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Tomorrow we've got Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, keeping in touch with all of the action and goals as they go in particular from the Premier League game from Aston Villa and Manchester United. Monday Premier League action returns on Talksport. Exclusive commentary of Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. 8 o'clock kickoff from Craven Cottage. And on Tuesday, Crystal Palace, well, as things stand, they'll be looking to bounce back from defeat. They've got a Carabao Cup quarter-final tie. 8 o'clock kickoff. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Winner plays Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final early next year. Ethan Ampadu has another long throw. 16 yards from the Palace goal. The near post once more is loaded. Striker's the main threat. Rodon is dancing around the penalty spot, tussling with Richards as the throw comes in from the Welsh international. Scorer of Leeds third. Still in the box. Header forward by Beale. It's another melee before Gay manages to clear the ball. Striker had stayed on side. No, he hadn't. Flag raised. And it will be a Palace free kick. Referee's only just spotted the flag. Leeds 3, Palace 0 on Talksport 2.
Again, Leeds are just anticipating where the ball's going to drop all the time. Ball in the box, it goes upwards. Leeds getting the next contact. There's 2 or 3 Palace shirts in around it. They're then waiting for each other to clear it. It drops and it caused that panic mode again. And really lucky that they got away with Striker about to come on and get a left foot shot off and managed to get the clearance. But Palace at this moment in time have got to do something about these long throws that they're not dealing with one bit.
And Nketiah has played the ball out to Mitchell. There is time and space for the cross, but he'd gone too soon. And the referee's assistant on this near side has raised the flag. But despite the flag, Daniel Farke was annoyed, which I think is an understatement, at the space that Mitchell had on that far side.
Yeah, and then in the other dugout you've seen Oliver Glasner. He's disappointed that his left wing back, who's in a good position, hasn't looked across the line and in a good position he's ran offside. So 2 frustrated coaches at this moment in time in that particular instance, but deep down Daniel Farke will be really pleased with what his Leeds team have done tonight, where Glasner obviously is going to be hugely disappointed that they've not been able to deal with anything that Leeds have thrown at them. They've not been able to influence the game. I think apart from that first half opportunity, Mateta and the rest of his forward attacking players have not really asked Leeds United goalkeeper Perry to do anything or have a save to make.
And Nketiah, former Leeds loanee, has given possession straight back to his one-time temporary club with Ethan Ampadu. Tried to just prod the ball forward towards the edge of the box. That was blocked, but it's come back to a white shirt and it's moved to the left. Gudmundsson inside left position. Bogle flung himself towards the ball. Mitchell maybe just a tentative nudge that just knocked him off his path.
Great ball from Gudmundsson, and you're thinking Bogle's just going to get in there on the far post and head it in the back of the net, but to be fair to Mitchell, he got his body position right and defended it really well, because certainly 4-0 would have been game over. But again, Leeds wing backs, one's crossing it, one's getting on the end of it, and this time on this particular occasion Mitchell defended it really well.
You're listening to Leeds versus Crystal Palace on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, but now at enterprise.co.uk. 71 gone. Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the first half double. Ethan Ampadu, who'd created the Calvert-Lewin goals via long throws, scoring from close range his first Premier League goal of his career to make it 3-0. And Leeds at the minute looking really comfortable, if anything, looking to add to that tally. Crystal Palace have been giving the ball away too cheaply, and Leeds, backed by a bumper home crowd, have been more than happy to venture forward at will, and they will here again with Ampadu. Lovely ball into the path of Calvert-Lewin, right of the penalty area, tried to feed it into Aronson, arriving just inside the box on the right. That was blocked and cleared. Mitchell will use his pace here to break forward. He's over the halfway line, looking for options in field. He finds Jeremy Pino, lots of space midway inside the Leeds half. He's able to venture forward, almost invited to shoot, comes off the back of Anton Stack, falls for Nketiah, a shot that seemed to take a nick off road, and it did. It's flown over the bar, but it's a Crystal Palace corner. Leeds 3, Palace 0.
Again, we're talking about Leeds there winning a lot of second balls on the front foot, winning the battles, but then Palace getting to a real good opportunity. Pino gets in around the box and looking to strike it. Probably wasn't a strike that was going to cause Perry too much in that Leeds goal, but when it got deflected away, Leeds got to defend the corner.
Pino on the far corner of the ground, Crystal Palace left side. Mateta and Lerma, the main height threat. So it's come to the edge of the area. Wharton will strike first time. It bobbled and bounced before landing in the arms of Lucas Perry. Neatly taken, something they've clearly worked on. Wharton all alone on the edge of the box. Pino finding him with a precision pass, but the shot wasn't powerful enough really to cause any problems, as Wharton sends the ball into the chest of Mateta, loses his footing under pressure from defender Jakob Biel. And again, I suppose that set piece, maybe, Simon, just sums up Palace's night.
Yeah, look, it's well worked, and it's obviously something they do on the training pitch, and to be fair to Wharton, you'd expect him to, with his quality, to a little bit more quality, to hit the ball with a little bit more power, because it went to Perry quite easily. Then quick throw, tried to get on the counter-attack, but it's about managing the game for Leeds now. They don't need to go looking for the fourth goal in this game. It might just open up a little bit more where they can count Palace on the counter-attack, because it's what Palace have to do now. They have to get the next goal, and we're running out of time. 17 minutes or so before we're going to extra injury time. But Palace subs are warming up in front of us, whether Oliver Glasner now decides that he's got one or two other options that he needs to decide upon.
Looks like there's changes on both benches. Right now over on Talksport, Everton 0, Arsenal 1. 20 minutes remaining there. Slightly less here, where it's Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0. If you've not already done so, download the Talksport app and you can swipe between Everton and Arsenal, and here on Talksport 2, Leeds Crystal Palace, where Leeds currently leading by 3-0. Looks like both sides are about to make 2 changes apiece as Crystal Palace come forward with Borma Sosa, edge of the box, left-footed pass. Pino can turn. I think he was surprised that he was able to turn. Leeds hadn't got close to him, but then as he tries to flick the ball out to the far side, it was an interception and an opportunity for Leeds to come forward. Initially with Okafor, but the ball falls here for Brendan Aronson. Sosa closing him down, Wharton as well. Aronson coming away with the ball. The challenge was weak from Wharton, and Leeds keep possession.
Yeah, again, another opportunity where second balls and tackles, Leeds are on the front foot. They're coming out of every individual battle on top, to be fair, and we're going to see substitutions, as you mentioned, John, from both teams. It looks like Tanaka's going to come on and Nonto going to come on for Leeds, just to freshen it up, keep a bit of game time into the Leeds players. Palace have to make substitutions for different reasons.
Oliver Glasner is talking to one of those changes, Justin Devaney. Daniel Farker got his arm around the waist of Wilfred Nonto. As Simon said, Tanaka is the other player who is set to come on. He was the only change to the Leeds 11 that drew 1-1 at Brentford. Aronson replacing Tanaka. And now these 4 changes will take place. So for Leeds, first is Aronson for Tanaka. So the change that was made pre-game by Daniel Farker is reversed with 15 minutes of normal time remaining here. Aronson, as I said, much maligned, but a standing ovation for the American. He looks absolutely shattered, by the way.
Yeah, look, he's been very good tonight. We spoke about him before, that he's sort of got mixed opinions with this Ellen Road crowd, but they're showing the recognition of what he's done tonight. He's worked extremely hard out of possession and got balls back and pressed and worked. And you've got Willie Nonto coming on for Okafor, which has been a substitution they've used over the last few weeks, where Willie Nonto likes playing off that number 10 role behind Calvert-Lewin. Just a little bit of freshness about the Leeds team.
And Mateta has gone off to be replaced by Cristianos Uche. And then Devaney has come on to replace Nketiah. Nonto missed a big chunk of the season with a knee injury. A real fans' favourite, the diminutive winger, low centre of gravity. Finished last season scoring in each of the last 3 games, but then missed 7 Premier League games through September to November due to that knee injury. He will give Leeds another offensive spark in the closing stages of this game here on Talksport 2, where it's Leeds 0, Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0. Apologies to Leeds fans tuning in, thinking they were leading. All of a sudden they thought all 3 goals had gone. They are definitely leading 3-0, and full value for it, as Pascal Strike will feed the ball back to Lucas Perry. Devaney, the Crystal Palace sub, making himself busy since coming on the field. So as I said, currently Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0. For the latest odds, head to William Hill. In fact, will break off as Nonto comes forward. He's into the box, left-hand side, onto his right foot, square to Calvert-Lewin, a swivel. He drags the ball back. He's got so many Palace defenders around him, but it kept coming back to him. Palace clear eventually with Wharton. And Palace survive once again. Gudmundsson's header forward. Richards will hook clear. Sosa will keep the ball in play, but his first touch takes him out. Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0 here then, with 12 minutes of normal time remaining. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get odds of 3.5 goals in this game at 13 to 10. How about this one? Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score a hat-trick, 8-1. That sounds tempting. That's all thanks to William Hill, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Now, is there a chance here for Calvert-Lewin to get that hat-trick from an Ethan Ampadu long throw? Both of his goals have come from this route. Can they engineer another? It's cleared to Stack, who caught it sweet on the volley, but it's a shot that's driven over the bar for a goal kick. Leeds 3, Palace 0. Talksport 2.
The odds we should be checking is Ampadu assist of a hat-trick, Calvert-Lewin a hat-trick. That would be very high, and it'd have been really, really high at the start of play, that's for sure.
Leeds are going to make a third change very swiftly after their first two, with James Justin, who joined on deadline day from Leicester, replacing Jayden Bogle. Very versatile James Justin throughout his career, has played either as a right back or a left back. I think he played at centre half a couple of times for Leicester as well when they played as a back three. Justin, big smile on his face. When you're a substitute, there's no better feeling than coming on at 3-0 up.
There certainly isn't, unless he makes a few mistakes and it ends up being 3-3. Then he might get a little bit of abuse, but hopefully not from a Leeds perspective.
James Justin won a sole England cap back in the summer of 2022. Suffered 2 ACL injuries during his time with Leicester. There's a ball he sent over the top. Uche will chase. It will bobble awkwardly on the edge of the area. Strike getting there first to clear just in front of the Crystal Palace substitute. Uche, Nigerian born, making his 7th Premier League substitute appearance of the season. He's made a couple of starts in the Europa Conference, and Crystal Palace have a free kick midway inside the Leeds half. Very central. Yeremy Pino has positioned himself over it. The Spaniard, just 23 years of age, born in Gran Canaria, a recent Spanish international, hoping to be involved in the World Cup squad during the summer. Sparkled early in this game, but seen very little of him since. Can he create from a free kick? He's got plenty of options in the box. It's a floated ball to the far left side of the 18-yard area. Cleared as far as Mitchell. Tries to just send it back to the box anywhere will do. Free kick with Lacroix fouling Rodon. And Leeds can take another breather. They lead 3-0 against Crystal Palace here on Talksport 2.
So you're looking at 3 centre-backs for Leeds there. They're sort of applauding each other because they won a free kick. Them 3, the wing-backs and the goalkeeper will be desperate for a clean sheet. I know we spoke about it, that they've only had a clean sheet. The last one was at the end of August, which is a long time. So to give them... get a clean sheet against a Palace team that have been really, really good this season and have been strong on the travels. To keep a clean sheet can only bode well for the future. The games that have got coming up go to Sunderland in a few weeks' time, and Manchester United come here in early January.
Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0 here on Talksport 2. On Talksport it remains. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. A Victor Gyökeres penalty in the first half. For the moment at least, Arsenal will leapfrog Manchester City to go back on top of the Premier League table. They will be Christmas number 1. The majority of the Premier League games are on Saturday the 27th of December, apart from Manchester United versus Newcastle. That's on Boxing Day evening, 8 o'clock. It's a game that is live on Talksport. Hugh Rosencroft will be in attendance alongside your commentator Sam Matterface, and former Manchester United captain Steve Bruce will be alongside Sam for your Premier League Boxing Day game. There will also be 4 championship commentaries on the Talksport network on Boxing Day, as well as Game Day Live with Adrian Durham. Here's Ethan Ampadu. 2 Leeds goals in the first half came from Ethan Ampadu long throws. The third goal came from the right boot of Ethan Ampadu. Can he create another one here in the closing stages at Ellen Road? It was flicked on at the near post. The clearance from Pino was delivered straight back to Biol, who can cross from the right, deflected and cleared by Palace, although Pino's clearance came back off Goodmunson, who was getting back into his defensive position. James Justin in the centre circle, left-footed, strokes the ball back to goalkeeper Lucas Perrin. Biol Touches it back to Perry again. Hasn't had to make a save. The Brazilian goalkeeper who joined from Lyon in the summer. Yet to get an international cap for Brazil. Frustratingly for him, has been an unused substitute on 8 occasions. Here's Tanaka, Japanese international. A short ball into the feet of Stack on the far touchline, close to the halfway line. Crystal Palace stealing the ball back, and Uche will come forward inside left position. On that far touchline is Pino. He's fed the ball into the path of Mitchell. It's an early delivery. Gudmundsson rising to head clear on the edge of his 6-yard box. Richards will gather possession for the visitors, who trail 3-0 here at Ellen Road. And it's a ball that's sent into the feet of Mitchell on the far touchline. Pino again turns to face the penalty box, hovers his right foot over the ball. Lovely ball into Wharton. It's a ball that's put back to Uche. Totally missed his kick. In fairness, Biol did just slide in front of him. It may have took his eye off the ball. Leeds will break with Willy Gnonto coming through the centre of the field. A ball played into the path of Calvert-Lewin. Sliding in was Lacroix, and the ball rolls through to Henderson. Calvert-Lewin looks to the skies, so close to a hat-trick.
Yeah, great run from Gnonto, and the movement from Calvert-Lewin, he went one way, then he ducked off the shoulder. I think it was Gehi, and the way a pass just couldn't quite get into him, and we've got Palace attacking.
Sosa to Pino on the edge of the box, a shot that took a deflection 18 yards out, very central. Rodon got himself in front of the Spaniard. I think Pino's shot was certainly on target, whether Perry would have had that covered. He's still to make a save, the Brazilian. It will be a Palace corner. Leeds lead 3-0. More changes, and look at this, a Premier League debut for 16-year-old Joel Drakes-Thomas. He wears the number 86 shirt. He will replace Jeremy Pino. He won't be 17 until June. The England under-17 international made his debut on Thursday against Kupion Palacera. Played the full 90 minutes in the Europa Conference. Got rave reviews, not just from the fans and the manager, but from his teammates as well. Big afro, difficult not to spot him, and such is his age. Not even a sponsor on the front of his shirt. Corner comes in. That'll be another corner to Crystal Palace. Leeds just about dealing that one, awkwardly at the near post.
What a lovely moment for him to make his Premier League debut at 16 years old as well. He's held in high regard, isn't he, with making that performance the other night. He'll be enjoying this last 5-7 minutes or so to try and make an impact on it.
Another ball in at the near post. Leeds will clear with Gnonto up towards the halfway line. Henderson will come and gather the ball close to the middle of the pitch, right-footed, left of centre, delivers it to the far side. Players jumping. The last touch was off a Palace man. It was Gehi. It will be a goal kick, and Leeds are going to make their final changes of the game. First one to be replaced, Ethan Ampadu. Created chaos from 2 long throws in the first half that led to Dominic Calvert-Lewin goals. Then he scored the third, his first Premier League goal of his career. Ilian Gruev will replace him. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who got the first 2 goals, 6 goals in his last 5 Premier League games, has scored in 5 Premier League games on the bench, will be replaced by Joel Piroux.
Yeah, big round of applause from Daniel Farke and the Leeds faithful for both these players. Ampadu has been exceptional. Talking about his assist and his goal, but his all-round play has won a lot of second balls. He's been that proper leader. Calvert-Lewin obviously playing with lots of confidence, showing his quality, being in the right place at the right time. Bit of game time for Joel Piroux and Gurev as well in the latter stages of the game. Job done. Both go have a rest and get ready for the next fixture in a week or so.
The summer is a long time away for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know about his injury record. His last England cap was in the Euro quarter-final against Ukraine in 2021. He was a substitute, no England appearances since, but it's a big if. But if he can keep fit, if he can keep this run of form, Thomas Tuchel cannot avoid the lead striker.
Well, you never know what the future's going to hold here. It's all about him enjoying himself, which he certainly is here at Leeds, and taking opportunities, and his teammates are helping him out. You never know what it might lead to.
Lacroix chasing to his own goal. He's got a header on that, so he needs Henderson to make a decision. Bit of uncertainty, and eventually there was a pass from Lacroix that Henderson could deal with a short ball forward to Gehi, middle of the Crystal Palace half. The fourth official is appearing the board to tell us what time will be added. We've got 2 more minutes of normal time. Still Arsenal lead over on Talksport at Hill Dickinson Stadium, 1-0 against Everton. Here at Ellen Road, Leeds 3, Crystal Palace 0 on Talksport 2. Game day live tomorrow with Sam Matterface. We'll keep you in touch with all of the action that is taking place before Premier League commentary kicks back in on Monday at Craven Cottage, where Fulham take on Nottingham Forest. And on Tuesday, Crystal Palace back in action for their Carabao Cup quarter-final tie at Emirates Stadium against Arsenal. 8 o'clock kick-off. The winner of that one will play Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-final.
When you're the manager and 3-0 up in a game, you'll be desperate for it. You're happy to see whatever comes up. Oliver Glasner at 3-0 down and be thinking, just make it 2 or 3 minutes, because we're not going to get anything really out of the game. If it's 7 or 8 or whatever it might be, you'll be thinking, we don't want to get done another goal and end up being 4 or 5.
Header from Rodon, just inside the Crystal Palace half. Palace try and return it with interest, but has been the case throughout the game. Leeds have been first to everything that falls loose, every second ball, as they have done again here as Stack tries to muscle and bundle his way through over the halfway line. Eventually Crystal Palace deal with the threat from Anton Stack, the German who joined from Hoffenheim in the summer. Does seem to be Leeds' best bit of business in the summer. A really important figure in that centre midfield area. Here is the 16-year-old Joel Drakes-Thomas. A ball back to Gay, who sends it towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Uche will muscle his way free. He's gone down in the penalty area and the referee has given a penalty. Uche got free. Lucas Perret came play out along with Biol, and there was a clash of bodies, and Thomas Bramall took a look as a yellow card for Lucas Perret, who hasn't had to make a save in the game. And as we go into 7 additional minutes at the end of the half, he concedes a penalty, and now he's going to face up to said penalty.
Well, it was just a ball that was knocked forward, and all of a sudden Uche's got the other side of Biol, and Perry's coming out, and he just gets caught. He gets caught in no man's land. He comes out. He doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Centre forward goes into him, and it's a clear penalty. And Leeds will be devastated, because all they wanted to do is try and keep a clean sheet, as we mentioned so many times, they're not being able to do since August. Potentially he's got an opportunity to redeem himself if he can make the save.
Justin Devaney, the Northern Ireland international, has got the ball placed under his right arm. Got a goal and an assist in midweek in the Europa Conference draw with Kupion Palacera at Sellers Park. Can he score in back-to-back games? Can he get 2 goals in the space of 3 days? He walks back to the edge of the 18-yard area and steps up left-footed to place the ball neatly into the bottom left corner. Perry still to make a save, but Leeds concede, and that long-awaited clean sheet will have to wait for another day. It will be a consolation, but Crystal Palace have got themselves on the score sheet.
Yeah, it's probably his first touch, I think. I don't think he's touched it in the last 2-3 minutes since he came on. Yeah, it's a big blow that for Leeds, because of the confidence a clean sheet would give him. Bit of a nothing goal, to be fair, when Perry comes out, and he's had these opportunities throughout the course of the season where he makes a few rash decisions and poor decisions, but in the meantime he's made good saves in games. Tonight he's not had a lot to do, and it probably just knocks the team a little bit that they wanted to keep that clean sheet, because that can only bode well for the future, keeping clean sheets.
Does mean Leeds have scored and conceded now in the last 7 Premier League games, and it will be 14 league games without a clean sheet. That's despite keeping 2 in their first 2 home games of the season. What matters though, Simon, I'm sure Daniel Farker will say that, is the scoreline and the 3 points.
Yeah, and you've still got 3 or 4 or 5 minutes left, and if Palace get an opportunity and something goes into the back of the net, it'll be all of a sudden, it'll be a very anxious last couple of minutes potentially, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
Here's one of the other substitutes, Sosa on this near side, giving possession away though. Here's Devaney, the goal scorer. First time ball into the teenager Drakes-Thomas, and he'll carry the ball over the halfway line. Tanaka alongside him, ball into Mitchell left side, dummies to cross left footed, feeds it back to Lerma. A ball in from the right. Devaney. Oh, it's crossed the post. My word, if that had gone in, what a final moments of the game we would have had. It was a brilliant ball in. And Devaney just got in front of his man. It was a glancing header and it hit the post flush and fell to safety. What an impact. Nearly from the substitute. Palace still on the front foot. Sosa, another one of the Palace subs, into Uche. He was fouled for the penalty. Another one of the substitutes. Leeds can clear. Real chance of a break here with Nonto, but rather than sprint forward, he just slows things down on the halfway line. But then he sends a brilliant ball in towards Tanaka, who seemed to be onside, couldn't control it. It's going to roll through to Henderson in the Palace goal. Leeds 3, Palace 1.
Just going back to the opportunity. To be fair, he should have scored, really. He's got a free header, heads it down, and he probably don't get enough of it, and it just hits the post full on. And as I was just saying, literally 30 seconds before that, if they do get that second one, it would have been a real anxious last 2, 3, 4 minutes or so. And fortunately, from Leeds' perspective, they've got away with it.
We've played 94 minutes here on Talksport 2. There was an additional 7 shown, but that happened as the penalty was given, so I'm thinking we'll see at least 8. It's Leeds 3, Palace 1 here on Talksport 2. On Talksport, they're into injury time there as well. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal back on top of the Premier League if they can hold on to that lead. Vicar Gyökeres with a first half penalty separating the sides. Leeds have a goal kick here at Ellen Road, and they'll certainly take that time. There's 2 balls on the pitch at the minute. Pascal Strike will just knock one of them away, as we see a replay in front of us of the Devaney header. It could have been 3 goals in 3 days.
What impact that was to get 2 with probably 2 touches, to be fair, wouldn't it? If he'd put that in the back of the net, it certainly made it a very anxious last few minutes.
Leeds look like they will make it 4 games unbeaten after a run of 4 successive defeats during November. It will be 2 wins and 2 draws in those 4 games, assuming everything stays as it is, with at least 2 more minutes, maybe a bit more, of the 7 that was allowed. Palace have a free kick. It's inside their own half, but goalkeeper Dean Henderson will take. It's a scoop towards the far side of the field. Big leap from James Justin. Will drop here for Chris Richards. The defender is midway inside the Leeds half. Moves it out to Joel Drakes-Thomas, the 16-year-old. Places his foot on the ball. Plays it short to Jefferson Lerma on the far touchline. Now it's Gueye. The centre forward is forward, but his route forward is blocked by Gruev, who was closing him down and not allowing him to turn to face the goal that Crystal Palace are attacking. And Leeds working so hard to win the ball back, and then from a quick throw, Tanaka trying to find Pirro. I think the referee has just stopped play because Adam Wharton is down holding his left knee. So that stops Leeds trying to break away to get a 4th goal in this game.
You're just looking at Palace before there. They've got all the centre backs up there for the free kick. Goes out wide, and then they turn down the opportunity to put it into the box with 2-3 minutes to go. Just put it in the box and see if there's any mayhem that can happen in around it, because you never know, could drop to somebody and it's the back of the net, and it's all really game on in the last 2-3 minutes. But turning down that opportunity, Leeds have been able to clear the lines, and now we're going to probably see the game out.
It will mean more time at it. Oh, Adam Wharton's just been shown a yellow card for the challenge that led to his injury. 3rd Crystal Palace player to be shown a card in the game, as we head into the last 10 seconds of the 7 that were allowed. But with the penalty and this delay with the Wharton injury and yellow card, there'll be a bit more as many around us and in front of us start to head for the exits. Leeds fans confident that their team will head into Christmas with a 4-game unbeaten run, but I think more importantly a 6-point gap away from the bottom 3. Leeds throw on the far side. James Justin will take. He's about 15 yards inside the Palace half, taking his time before launching it down the touchline towards Pirro. Mitchell there first. Forward by Rodon, midway inside the Palace half. Now he'll race back to join his 2 central defenders to halt Crystal Palace getting any further traction in this game. It's Leeds coming forward with Pirro, looking for Gruev. Not often he gets forward. Oh, was he tripped? The referee takes a long look. Well, he's blown his whistle, but he's certainly not pointed to the spot. He's looking towards his assistant. Is he going to help him out here? Everyone is very confused inside Ellen Road. It's a penalty. And Leeds will have a chance to restore a 3-goal lead. Gruev forward, and it was substitute Borna Sosa who slid in. Well, no, that's outside the penalty area. That will be checked, I'm sure. It definitely is a foul, but I think it will be a free kick when VAR intervene.
He's made the tackle and he's caught Gruev outside. Surely it's not going to be a penalty. His momentum has carried him forward, and that's when he's fallen. And there's contact in the box, but it was more the first contact was outside the box. I'd be very surprised if this doesn't get overturned.
We're just seeing the replays on the screen that the officials back at Stockley Park will be looking at. Craig Pawson is the VAR official, assisted by Nick Hopton. And I'm pretty certain in a moment, well, Pascal Strike at the moment has got the ball under his left arm, on his hip. Lacroix, the defender, is almost saying, no, you're not going to take a penalty, it's going to be a free kick. Whether he's had word from the Crystal Palace dugout, because he's glancing in that direction. And now the referee is just walking away from a body of players on the edge of the box. He's going to blow the whistle. He's made the sign of the screen, and I think we're going to hear him over the PA system. I was trying to avoid the Christmas cliche, but that was like a pantomime boo there from the Leeds crowd.
It certainly was. Look, it's a very clear and obvious decision, wasn't it? It was outside of momentum, carrying him forward into the box.
Well, 3 Leeds players are over the free kick. Tanaka, Piru and Stack. Stack is Leeds set-piece expert. Still playing on Talksport. Everton 0, Arsenal 1, closing stages there. But you can't miss a free kick on the edge of the box here on Talksport 2. Maybe even the last kick of the game. In fact, the full-time whistle has gone at Hill Dickinson. Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal back on top of the Premier League. Here at Ellen Road, Talksport 2. It's Stack with a free kick. Oh, it's brilliant! And the Leeds fourth is delivered. Gift wrapped, ready for Christmas from Anton Stack. His third of the season. Back-to-back goals here at Ellen Road. And in injury time, he sends those Leeds fans home with Christmas cheer and the biggest of smiles. Perfectly placed, up and over the wall to the left of the goal. And it's Leeds 4, Crystal Palace 1.
Well, there was 4 in the wall, and Stack has gone with his right foot, and he's got it over the top and down before Dean Henderson can get across. It's to the back of the net. We've talked about his delivery from set pieces tonight has been very good. All season, his set pieces and his shooting range has been really good. Gets it up and over, 4-1, game over.
His third of the season. Wasn't quite in the top corner, was it? Whether is that one for the wall to look at or one for the goalkeeper to look at, or do we just admire Anton Stack?
I think you just say well done. You got an opportunity up and over and down.
Well, in the first half, Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored with the last kick of the game. In the second half, Anton Stack with the last kick of the game seals a 4-1 victory for Leeds United. They go 4 unbeaten and they go 6 points clear of the bottom 3 in the Premier League. Crystal Palace can't continue their really good form away from home. They couldn't make it 4 wins on the bounce away from Selhurst Park, and they can't go joint 4th with Chelsea. They were poor today, whether that is the build-up of games taking their toll. But let's talk about Leeds, who were superb. They led on 38 minutes. Ethan Ampadu with a long throw. It was flicked on by Palace defender Chris Richards, and it fell to Calvert-Lewin. His first effort from a few yards out was saved by Dean Henderson, but as it came back to him, it was a simple tap-in to make it 5 goals where Calvert-Lewin has scored in successive games. In injury time in the first half, another Ampadu long throw, this time flicked on by Biol, the Leeds defender, and Calvert-Lewin with a downward header into the bottom left corner of the goal. Ethan Ampadu created the first 2. He scored the third for Leeds, a close range finish beyond Henderson, his first ever Premier League goal. In injury time, Palace got themselves a consolation through a Justin Devaney penalty. It means that Leeds have now gone 14 Premier League games without a clean sheet. Lucas Perry beaten. He gave away for this penalty with a foul on substitute Christianios Uche. But then deep into injury time, an Anton Stack free kick, right-footed, up and over the wall, into the left side of the goal. And you can hear what it means to these Leeds fans here inside Ellen Road. They go off. Simon Grayson, former Leeds manager, with very much Christmas cheer in their back pocket.
Yeah, certainly will do. You looked at Palace and you thought first 10-15 minutes they moved the ball really well. You looked at Hughes and Wharton, they looked like they could really influence the game, and Leeds didn't really deal with it. But after that initial 10-15 minutes, Leeds got on the front foot. They won most 50-50 challenges. They dealt with the opportunities that Palace did when they came into that final third and got some key goals at the key moments. Palace couldn't deal with the long throw-ins, not just the first contact but the second contact. The people on the move, like Calvert-Lewin, he loves moving defenders around. Defenders only have to ball watch for a couple of seconds and he's on the move, and before you know it, the key moment was really the one on half time, wasn't it, to go 2-0 up. It was a big fillip for Leeds to do that. Got to manage the game well enough, and then all of a sudden get the opportunity from Ampadu. Again, Palace don't defend the first contact, and Ampadu was first to react, pokes it past Dean Henderson in that Palace goal, and 3-0 game over. Leeds probably didn't quite manage it well enough in that latter stages when conceding unnecessary penalty when they didn't need to deal with it, and then the opportunity for Palace hitting the post would have made it certainly an interesting last couple of minutes, but a bit of quality from Stack at the end there with a free kick, and a thoroughly deserved win for Leeds because of the effort, desire, the quality that they showed. And they just kept on going, and this Leeds faithful could go into Christmas Day in a real positive manner.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 7 goals in 14 games against Crystal Palace. Daniel Farke, who is just behind the Leeds players doing a lap of honour, saluting those Leeds fans. Daniel Farke will be wrapping Dominic Calvert-Lewin up now in cotton wool between games. But now it is time for Simon to pick his man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
The Here For It hero on Talksport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Simon Grayson, former Leeds United manager, you've been very balanced throughout the game here today, but I would be very, very, very surprised if it's not a Leeds player that gets your nod as man of the match.
Yeah, I think it's been a real strong team performance from Leeds. Defenders defended well. I think when you look at the two key people in that contributed so much is Ethan Ampadu and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think when you look at Ampadu, his overall game was really good. He won a lot of second balls, but to get 2 goals for Calvert-Lewin, the confidence in, I'll give Dominic Calvert-Lewin the man of the match.
And he is he's the last Leeds player to leave the pitch. He's lost his shirt, he's got a jacket covering what will be a very cold body. He salutes those Leeds fans, they are loving him at the minute. 6 goals in his last 5 games. Daniel Farke will be the last to leave the field, all in black. He's walking around the perimeter of the pitch. He's just in front of the Norman Hunter stand away to our right side. Once more he asks those Leeds fans to make one last noise before he signs off the year here at Ellen Road with a thumping win, 4-1 here against Crystal Palace on Talksport 2. On Talksport it finished Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Over on Talksport now, the Sports Bar Weekender will be getting underway with Adam Catterall and Perry Gross. They'll be taking your calls, featuring all of tonight's action, looking back at today's game. So Leeds and Palace fans, your chance to get in touch with the guys, have your say. The number to dial is 03717 22 33 44, 03717 22 34. Coming up next here on Talksport 2, it is NFL action as the Philadelphia Eagles face the Washington Commanders. But here in Ellen Road, it's been a great game to head into the Christmas break for these Leeds United fans. It finishes Leeds United 4, Crystal Palace 1.
Game day exclusive on Talksport 2 with Sky Sports. Stream over 50 live Premier League games flexibly with Now. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.